Audio.
Are we
Right.
live?
We're live now, and Richard sent
Are
our
we
screen.
live?
Are we live? You sound like Amber. Are we live?
I have to. It's just like it's a tradition of your channel. You have to. Like.
Oh,
Anytime
yes.
you spent in the background, if you're more than twice in the back room before any of your streams, it has to be. Are we live? Are we live? Has to. She's not here. Someone else has to fill in. I'm more than able to take up the mantle.
Yes, there's a couple of slots if anyone wants to jump in. Richard didn't check his email, so I didn't think Richard was going to be here tonight, so I arranged to have Stephen on. We're going to have a bit of banter, just hang out after holidays and stuff. Cool new phone. Yeah, and just have a bit of banter. And I found some the usual alcohol I drink down south is twice as strong, so I bought that, and we're going to try that out tonight and see how fun.
Well, now, by twice as strong, define for the audience what you mean, because it's not twice the alcohol content.
Okay, it's not twice the alcohol content, it's twice the caffeine content. It's 54 milligrams of caffeine per 100 milliliters of alcohol, and there's, what, 75 or 750 milliliters. So, somewhere in around the guts of, what, 500 to 600 milligrams of caffeine. That'd be fun.
I don't think the maths.
Oh, I went double.
No, it is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking. No, wait.
350 to 400.
Yeah, 350 to 400. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot. You're gonna be like insane. You're gonna be able to see sounds towards the end of the stream.
I'm gonna be running a lot.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be running a lot.
You're gonna be able to like taste colors.
I have sent the link to Stool, and I have sent the link to Samos. Stool has it on Twitter and Samos has it on Discord if either of you would like to jump in. I think this is all coming out right. Yes, the chat looks right. As long as the sound is right. Is everybody happy enough with the sound? Thank you all for interpreting. Yeah. So how has everyone been for a week? I've been camping. Did you just miss me?
Nope.
Do you know, I did notice that there was a lack of your streams, but I mean, like, as I was kind of talking to you earlier, like, I kind of, you know, I've been absent for a while as well for my own reasons, so it's not that I necessarily didn't, but it's just, even if you were here, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to be able to jump in anyway. So.
Nicest way in the world to say, Robbie, you don't matter. Appreciate it, Steve.
Do you know what? I think if you compare the answer that I gave you to the answer that Richard gave you, which was just straight up no, I mean, you know,
Richard's
Mine
just
was funnier.
Richard's is excited because someone convinced him to actually get a mobile phone for the first time in like 10 years or something. Richard, that's more. He's so excited about that. That's what it is.
Last time I had a phone, it was the V3 Razor, which was a flip phone. And that was like the latest thing.
Well, I got the new, if anyone knows this phone, it's the new Nothing 1 with the fancy glyphs and stuff and all in the back. Oh, do you know a good function as well, Stephen? I didn't show you earlier. See when you turn it upside down and put it in a completely flat surface, the light's flashing, it automatically goes into silent mode.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. And if you have it face down on like a desk or whatever, if you get a text, like the thing will the lights.
Oh,
will
yeah,
flash,
the
so you
glyphs
know.
light up anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's
That's it. Like, just unironically, that should just be a feature on every phone. I'm sorry, like there should be some sort of a light on the every phone has the fucking camera module with the flash on it. It should be a thing. Where if you get a text, it flashes. If it rings, it you know what I mean? Continuously.
Do you not remember they used to have that in phones? It was a wee light in the top corner.
I think it was.
You could set it green for WhatsApp, blue for Twitter. It was a wee RGB, and then you had it in silent. You know, it would do that. But yeah, that's too hard. Richard doesn't like mobile phones. But here, do you want to see some pictures of me when I was camping? Will we all sit and listen to me tell stories about holiday while I'm drinking and you're drinking and we're all having? Fuck, Stephen looks super excited about that. Thanks for that, Stephen.
I forgot to get drink. Bear with me for 2 moments. I shall return.
All right, I won't miss you when you're gone because I'll be talking to Richard.
Well, fuck you too, I guess.
I suppose everyone who sees your channel on a regular basis knows you were on holiday and took your beautiful child with you and went to southern something or another.
We have
Ireland.
to say real Ireland for the benefit of Stephen.
real Ireland. That's a true Scotsman. It's a no true Irishman's fallacy. That's what that is.
Mr. Willis, we went to County Mayo in a wee village called Cong. It's a tiny wee village. If anybody is of the age that remembers The Quiet Man with John Wayne from like 1970 something that won an Oscar, it's the wee tiny itsy bitsy village where it was filmed. Or if you look up Ashford Castle in County Mayo, find it that way as well. Ashford Castle was like the village was maybe a mile from we were, and Ashford Castle was in the middle, you know. Malibu, Jesus, party the night.
Yeah. I likes me Malibu. I'm not gonna lie.
It was.
What is Malibu?
Malibu
Rum.
tastes like coconut.
Yeah, it's coconut flavored rum. Really, really nice stuff.
It's more of a mixer though.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you're not fucking drinking it straight. Like, I'm not a pirate.
I wasn't sure, to be honest.
No.
Right, let me see if I've set
I'm a
this
little
up
bit
right.
mental, but I'm not crazy, like.
Share screen. Yeah. Not working.
Yeah.
There's the rainbow sleeping bag. I remember that story.
Yes, there's a rainbow sleeping bag, right? Richard's hangout.
Wait, is that an air mattress?
Yes.
Why is there an air mattress?
There is an air mattress because that was actually given to me last year by the people beside me because I smoked them up, and the bed that I brought for her was too big for the tent. So they had a spare air bed and they give it to me in return for me smoking them up. And I'll be honest, man, she had it for the first 2 nights and I took it for the last couple. My back was bad. We were rock hard. It was
That's what I was saying. Why does a child need an air mattress?
Yeah, I took it off her and just gave her an army rollout. Oh,
It's us old broken people that need air mattresses. Children don't need it. They're flexible.
yeah. Hold on, I've lost Stephen. We need to add Stephen back on stream here.
I was just going to say I wasn't aware that you lost me at all.
No,
From my
because
point of view, I'm still on stream.
Didn't you
Yes.
feel lost for a moment
Yes,
there?
on stream. Do you know what? Strangely enough, I did.
second sexiest Irish man in the community, like.
Debatable. Would you be expecting any other type of fucking response from me? I mean, come on, like.
You try your best.
I do. You know what? I do. I finally accepted my male pattern baldness. So.
Yeah, it's good to
Which-
see.
I just want to point out something that you did not fucking warn me about is that your head gets fucking sunburnt and it fucking hurts.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
A lot, man.
I mean, oh my god, like it really like but like it's an area it's like the skin it's been sunburnt for the first time because it's always been sheltered. It's always been protected. It's like baby skin getting fucking sunburnt for the first time. I've never felt it up there. It's fucking awful.
You get used to it, man. Like the first week when I cut my hair, the back of my neck being able to feel the wind, it was like,
Yeah.
is that a ghost?
It's
What the fuck? You don't
it's strange, man.
ever feel that behind it. But
Yeah.
Here's how male pattern baldness works. Men who are bald in the front are sexy. Men who are bald in the back are thinkers. Men who are bald back to front just think they're sexy.
Ah.
Must be the third one.
Well, I'm only balding in the back, so
That's
I'll
a sign
take
of a
it.
thinker. Yeah.
well, I'm only balding in the back so far.
Yeah, man,
If my
mine
male
started
pattern
here.
baldness
It just
follows
works
the
its
rest
way.
of my family. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet, but eventually, give it 5 years, and I'm thinking that I'm sexy. You know?
What are you mid to late 30s, Stephen?
I'm 27, but okay.
Ooh.
It's fine.
That
I'm
was
not at
that
all
was completely
insulted.
an accident. I promise. Completely
I'm
an
not
accident.
entirely-
I had no idea.
No, it's fine. I'm not at all insulted.
Oh no, I took it down. You continue to insult Stephen there. Whenever you're finished, we'll talk about it.
It's fine. No, it's fine.
Late 20s.
I'm only fucking with you, son. Jesus Christ, don't you're grand.
Oh. No.
Everyone tells me that if I've ever asked anyone to guess how old I am, they always think that I'm older than what I actually am. So like, I'm used to it at this point. Don't worry about it.
It's the appearance of wisdom. That's what it is.
I mean, must be.
I mean, you're doing a good job of faking it, so people think you're older than you are. That would be natural of them.
Right, we'll have them in order because I've organised them in order in a wee album and everything. There's the cat ears, right? Did anybody see me on stream? Because there is Wi-Fi on the campsite, so I joined stools in the pitch dark for an hour on my laptop using Wi-Fi and using the mic and they flash too. So all you can see was a little glow every now and again when I'm smoking and 2 flashy ears.
I'm sure that was a sight to behold.
It was lovely. It was lovely. There's a power stance if ever I fucking seen one there.
Absolutely.
That looks like, what'd you say?
Look at the price. That's the fucking €14.49. Cost of living is fucking insane in Ireland. £7 up here. Right, this is Ashford Abbey. Lots of gravestones and stuff here. Feel free to comment or say something. Don't make me take over.
Ashford Abbey. That's you referred to that earlier as quote unquote the castle.
There's Ashford Castle and then there's Ashford Abbey. It may be Kong Abbey, but there's Ashford Castle, and then there's a big whack of it. Like what's happened is a lot of the land actually gets sold. If you try to get into Ashford Castle through the main gate, a man in this little green suit walks out, you know, with the top hat and all the rest of it and all this shit. €10 please to drive through this, right? To go into Ashford Castle and use the land and walk around and have a look at the castle and stuff. €10. But they must have sold an awful lot of land earlier, because if you go around the back, there's a fucking road that goes right through the back that's a right away that they can't stop you on. And like there's people have shops and like the horse place and all was there. So I just went in the back door and just went, yeah. I'm paying a tenner just to go in through the front door.
You'll forgive me my ignorance. There's not a lot of abbeys in the United States. What exactly is an abbey?
Monastery, monk, church thing. Sort of not a monastery, but not a church. Sort of in between. In size-wise. No way a monastery would be quite big compared.
Okay.
Abbey would be sort of size-wise in between.
Okay.
Still would be like, you know, it's a big ass church, but size-wise, it's bigger than a normal church, you know.
It's got like does it have cells for living? No.
No, it's like a big church, but
okay.
Round and stuff like that. And if anyone remembers last year, I took a picture just like that in an abbey down in Kilkenny, exactly the same with her in the archways.
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of funny faces. Ignore the funny faces, because we do a lot of funny faces.
What's wrong with children doing funny faces? That's good.
I know there's a fuckload of Elena, okay? So YouTube, calm yourself. It's my fucking daughter. But like the grounds of just where we were, the land, like I would give up everything and just move to the middle of nowhere in County Galway, around there. It's like Italy. You'll see when we get there, man. But some of the shots are just, look at the sun. Poor wee white ginger girl. Dab shade. Now all the pictures of me, Elena took them. Now she's 5, remember, as well. So she took all the pictures of me.
She gets you centered well.
That's the fucking only rule that she is definitely sure 100% on. Honey, is Daddy in the middle of the picture? Yes, Daddy. Pictures from the next couple of days. They have a forest here. And as I said to Richard earlier, there's a 5-kilometer walk around their grounds, right? Back to where you start. And it's about 5 kilometers long. Now, when you get over near the end, over here somewhere, there's a cave called Pigeonhole Cave, which we did get to later. You'll see pictures of, right? And in between Pigeonhole Cave and the start, there's Dog Cave. And I wanted to go see the caves. She can't walk 5 kilometers, so Daddy came up with this great idea. We'll just use the GPS and we'll walk as the crow flies through the forest with this big stick to beat shit out of the way. And we may or may not have got lost in the forest for about 40 minutes. May have come out looking like a lobster and throwing a fit, thinking that we were GPS signal. You'd walk 100 yards and it would spin. It would be like location not target, no GPS, nothing. So I walk this way, then I walk that way, then I walk this way, and I'm always walking towards the cave, and it's never right. And after about a half hour, I just fuck that. Phone in the pocket, listen for people. I've taken 3 lefts and 2 rights. That puts me here. Honey, we need to just walk that way. And we just walked for about 20 minutes till we found the path. Now, we did come out where we started, maybe 100 yards or 200 yards up from where we started. My map reading skills in my head are better than... Look at how clear the water is. You can actually see fish there. Like, they're fish. These wee grey blurs. There's fish there. No, there's fish.
Shit.
I cannot tell what the heck I'm looking at.
Right. That's as far in and zoomed as I can go. But this black and white dot thing here, that's a fish.
Yeah, it's a little fish.
This little black and white thing here, that's a fish. There's a fish. There's a fish.
Everywhere is a fish.
Lots of fish. Loads and loads and loads of fish. I'd zoom it. No, I have to fucking zoom out. Water.
Long Abbey had a pond. E-I-E-I-O.
Right, this, I've no idea what this is doing, but
It's a sculpture.
pretty. Yeah, she does these fucking poses, okay? I have no idea who's taught her all these old-fashioned... She does this with her neck, and she's like, I'm trying to look cute, hot daddy. Honey, you look like you're sick. Straighten your neck. It's like fucking... all twisted like this. She does these wee poses like... I'm trying to be cute. Like, that's, you know... I tried to be a wee bit artsy on some of the photos, okay? I do like to take... Some of them are a weird colour, or some of them are this, that, and the other. That's me fucking about with my settings and trying to get a nice picture, like. Oh, there's a wee hut, right? That, you have to walk across this. Now, she's grand, didn't give a shit, wee bitch ran across. That, I can't remember, what is it called? The Monk's Fishing House. So there may have been monks at this, man. Oh.
Somebody thinks so.
Used to fish, you know, on the water. Look at that. This is great for salmon. Costs about €300 a day to fish in this river.
300
According
per day?
to them, I went to a different place, which is further out. It's like a same sort of lake, and the guy's like, no, it costs about maybe 250 to 300.
Are the goldfish made of real gold?
Man, I have a video that's not on this folder because it only backed up photos, where Elena's playing and a salmon jumps out of the water less than 15 foot behind her. Just playing in the water normal, and the salmon just goes boop out of the water and back in again. Like, they were jumping. The guy I was talking to lives quite close, and he would come there regular, and he says he was here last week, and after that big gush of rain we had with the lots of sun, the river was very full, and the salmon, you could actually see them jumping up the waterfall.
Shit.
Funny faces. Look at that. It's just absolutely stunning, right? This is about the point after this wee place. I don't know what this is. This is like a smoking area, sort of just outside the forest, or for people to come and sit and drink in, according to the rubbish that's been fucking lying around it. But it's just bricks and broken glass, and they made like a collage around it. And he's blurred and looks very unhappy.
Yeah,
Finger.
you sort of looked drunk in that first one where it was blurred.
Smoking a lot of pipes, like, you know. This is us walking off and into the beaten track.
Pictures from the unbeaten track.
It progressively gets more and more like this. Right, this is how we're trying. She's losing the battling. And then we're trying to get down to this because there's sort of a path there. So we get down to that. She's like, Daddy, we're just lost. It's like, no, there's a grand. Come on this way. She's just throwing a wobbly because she's convinced we're going to have to.
Now, I imagine that those photos with the overcast from the canopy are revealing what her hair true color is. That's probably closer to realistic right there.
Yeah. Really ginger like. I call it sunburned orange like.
Yeah. See, every picture I've ever seen, it's the sun is very highlighted and her hair looks much lighter than that. But I know a little bit about light in photos, so.
It was very hard to get the lighting right because it was so goddamn fucking bright. Like this is our path. We have to head that direction, and she's not fucking happy at all. Like. Look at her throwing a wobbly. And she just stops. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just giving up. This is it. Stuck in the middle of the forest. But we did eventually get out. As I said, it took us about an hour, and then we just ended up back where we started. And I was like, we'll find the cave a different. This is the river. That's the campsite. That's the playground. I was so lucky to get a spot right beside it. Have your kid in unless it's supervised, and I could lay in my tent and still see. Literally just the three of us in that wee.
So you made sure the opening to your tent was faced toward the children's playground. That doesn't sound pervy.
No, my fucking door is pointed right at this hedge, so nobody can see me smoking fucking joint.
Oh, it's fine. Explain it away. No,
I
it's
can
fine.
dip my head out and check. This
I
is
can
us.
go and get you a shovel if you want me to, son.
Huh?
I can go and get you a shovel if you want me to, like. Just keep fucking digging that hole, like, you know?
This is us on the way to Ashley Falls, which is about an hour away.
What are those black tubular solids?
These things here.
No, that's part of the car.
Yeah, so what are you talking about? Oh!
Go back a couple of pictures. Those things.
They're bales of hay. They're
Yeah.
bales
Wrapped
of hay.
in plastic.
Wrapped in black plastic, yeah. That's how they come over here.
Gotcha.
And they stack them
Okay.
as high as 2 and 3 stories, like.
Okay.
This would be
Never
just
seen that.
between. This would be going from County Mayo back up north a wee bit into County Galway. But like a lot of these pictures, anything you see with this sort of shit in between them, I'm taking it as I'm driving, which really I shouldn't be doing. Yeah, now that one that's Kid for Connemara. I think this is Connemara. That sounds right, Stephen, doesn't it?
Let me just see if I've got this right. You're driving, taking pictures.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Out the side window
No.
with your child in the car.
No.
Mm-hmm.
In Roblox, like.
Yeah,
You know?
at
In
stop
Minecraft.
signs, you know. Stop signs and
Yeah.
shit. Like.
In Minecraft, yeah. You were doing it in Minecraft. It's fine.
In Minecraft, yeah.
Yeah.
This is Connemara, some forward in Connemara, and that wall. Oh, that's a dead crab. We went looking for crab. Like a 5-foot drop on the other side of that wall, and it was like, we need to go down to the water. Let's go. So I climbed over the wall and jumped down, and then not out of bounds, but fuck waiting. Let's just go for a walk. Look at her silly pose. What is this pose about?
I'll bet her mom does weird stuff and she's imitating it, or maybe her friends at school, or
I don't know. Like, even the dirty water on the beach that's lying there is fucking clear. I whacked the colour up a wee bit in that one. Give it an effect. So that's why it's a wee bit more coloured. Compared to that one. I fucked about with it a wee bit. I think that looks better because this one's washed at the top.
Yeah, it looks washed out.
Yeah, with a light. This is me being artsy. One rock in the middle of seaweed. Everybody wants to see a picture of that. Just one rock, all alone in the middle of seaweed. I think that's worth 100 grand.
I mean, to somebody, you know,
Somebody.
the age of selling people NFTs, like probably.
Okay, go to Google and check out and look up the new art piece called Pickle. It's literally a pickle from a McDonald's Big Mac meal that someone's put on a white tile and it's sold for £9,000. And it's a McDonald's pickle on a white tile. Alright.
Having worked in McDonald's, like, and just knowing like how they come, like that, like, that's just sad. It's just sad. They come in a fucking like a big plastic bag,
dump them
like
in
a fucking
vinegar.
3 or 4 liter plastic bag, right? Filled with pickle juice. You drain the pickle juice out, and then you just put it into the Cambros, and then that's it. You're just fucking throwing them onto the, like that is actually. Just,
I
like,
always get
just
a
sad.
quarter pounder with cheese because the onions that go on it aren't re-dried onions. They're fresh onions.
Yeah.
Where if you get the Big Mac are the rehydrated ones.
Yeah.
And the only thing in it that's not fresh would be the pickle. Like that. I worked at McDonald's too, and it was like, holy.
Right, the whole idea of brining pickles is to preserve them.
No, they come in dry. They come dry. They literally come as discs, and
I'm talking about the pickles.
Yes, the pickles come as dried out discs, and you leave them for a week or a couple of days soaking in pickle juice.
What?
And then drain that back out.
Okay, it's
again.
changed somewhat. It's changed somewhat then, because that's not how the. Well, I mean, like maybe it's just like the sort of like how it's done differently in like France than it is in America. Like it could just be like that.
Plus, I
or it
worked
could
at
just be the change
McDonald's.
of time.
I worked at McDonald's 20 years ago, man. So.
Yeah, I see. It could just be the passage
Yeah, but
time,
that
like,
was
it's
in
come up with
fake
different ideas.
Ireland.
True.
Fake Ireland.
True.
Yeah,
Fake Ireland and fake pickles, you know.
Oh yeah, 20 grand. I've got Clout offering me 20,000 for this picture.
See, look, there you go.
That's nice. Although it's not centered. It's not really even squared. Right there. How about that for an artsy one?
20,000 watts.
That's a nice photo.
If it's 20,000 coffee beans, that's a good offer.
There is no $sign or no £sign, so I am
See?
unsure. What about that one, Stephen?
Maybe it's
I like
20,000 good
better.
intentions.
I like that one better.
It's
I don't know
pretty
why.
much the same, but with more.
It is pretty much the same, yeah, but it's just like I don't know. I just
the
like that one
trail.
better.
The trail of the stream sort of focuses you at the mountains, where that you get lost in the seaweed and you don't see the mountains at all. Dude, you've got the link for fuck's sake. On in. There's another one, right? That's more seaweed, and I did this, right? Now that's the portrait mode where you try and blur out the background. I think it makes it a wee bit more focused, here in the center. But
How'd the seaweed get up there?
Oh, it comes in. The tide comes in and out. Have you heard of the moon?
Moon. I have heard of the moon, yes.
Good.
I did not realize that this was open to an ocean, though.
Oh, yeah, well, like you're open to it's the west coast of Ireland, man.
Not everyone knows what that means. That this isn't. It looks very inland. It looks like a lake.
No, it's a ford of some kind.
See, something. Nobody mentioned that.
I did say ford a couple of times, but maybe it wasn't too fast for you.
To me, Ford's a car.
It's a weird spelling of ford.
Fjord.
Fjord. That may be it.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is another thing I thought was cool. There's a mini waterfall we found buried up behind a hedge. It was like, we can hear water. Where's that water coming from? So we went up, digging up and round the fucking back, and I found this and then climbed up. That came out really well from the top of that. Just framed nicely with them. If the fucking sun wasn't so goddamn bright.
It's still a nice photo though.
Yeah. Look at her. She moves mountains. I was like, up
That's
a wee
what
bit.
happens if you have a mustard seed of faith.
And I'm not joking. The amount of angles that she did with her hands before I was like, stop, forward a bit. You went too far. Go back, stop, bring your arms out. It was like fucking like a robot doing this thing in the middle of the ocean. Very funny. But it came out well. And she's got this, I'm going to move the fucking mountain face only. Yeah, there's me fucking about with the colours, you know, compared.
It looks better.
Yeah, some of
See,
me.
Yeah, it looks a
it's
lot
like
better.
you got rid of the glare.
Yeah. Some of me in pro mode was good. Now the pro mode keeps the settings, so I had the pro mode set up for this day. So whenever you go to the ones in Ashley Falls the next day, it was far too bright. So I had to fuck about with it more, but I didn't reset it. So they come out sort of. They come out looking like somebody had taken a picture in the 80s, you know, an older camera, you know. So then I started going with that, but you'll see. Found crabs, man. There were so many dead crabs everywhere. Couldn't do anything with that one. That one there's a nice picture. Should be fucking looking at us, popping her head from that one, putting it on that one, you know. And then of course you have to have your. Who's making? Nobody gives a shit about this, but I don't care. I just miss streaming and hanging out with my friends. Again, there's me fucking about with the colours. That came out, I think, brilliantly.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Or to the green and that, and then you look at that. There's the standard.
I don't know why you didn't. Why didn't you just leave it on pro the whole time? I mean, those photos look so much better.
Because to me, when I was looking at it in that light as well, man, you have to remember, I'm looking at it on the phone screen just after taking it on a 4-year-old phone that doesn't have that many nits. So when it's that bright, I didn't see that the colours. I could see that they were more vibrant, but I couldn't see how bad these were because of the sun on your screen, you know. Whenever I got home, I actually thought.
And now you got a new phone, and it doesn't even matter that you know that.
When I got home, man, the first thing I did was check the lens to see if I'd smudged it with oil or sweat. That's what I thought was going on because of the difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's me fucking about with it, and then that's the normal one.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There's your name, Fjord.
Kilari Fjord.
That's all the fishies that you can get.
No goldfish made of actual gold, though.
No.
Unfortunately.
Connemara. I could fucking live down there. Right, this is Ashley Falls. This is about 20 minutes up the road from Connemara.
Poor girl.
This is where the salmon was.
She had problems with her inner ear, Ashley.
Actually, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's Aasleigh. I'm calling it.
That would be Ashley.
Yeah, like a weird Irish Ashley.
Yeah. Seems right.
Went here. This I really wanted to go. Now this was the guts of maybe an hour, maybe a wee bit more from where we were. And to be fairly honest with you, the burn in my car's not fucking good. Going over mountains with a front driver's burn. Oh, every time you turn left. But we got there in the end. And
You're a mechanic. Fix it.
I got the car back 7 o'clock the night before. Got it back at 7 p.m. the night before.
Okay.
I'm going on Thursday. She's going to help me. I've got 2 new burns and 2 new hubs and all sitting there in the car, so she's going to help me. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to help me.
Translation: Burns. That's
Bearings.
bearings for the English speaking.
I'll be back in a bit.
Well, this is, as I say, weird stuff.
It's beautiful.
The pro mode, see why the pro mode's not doing as well here? That's me taking it out and just using the settings. Just doesn't look fucking right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Looks a wee bit fake to me. Like lacking in
Now,
pixels.
Is there a lot of forest near this water source? Because there's a good bit of tannins from wood in the water.
There would be wood
causing the coloration.
There is an awful lot of forests and trees around.
There's a lot of fallen wood, fallen leaves in the water.
Oh yeah, I would say so, man.
Okay.
As long as the river goes, you know. Now in this, we walked the river for maybe 3 hours. We didn't go straight walking for 3 hours. We'd walk and stop and walk and stop, you know. Absolutely fantastic. Look at what's the crack with this leg thing? I don't know what's going on with these poses. And I'm gonna have to.
Oh, all the girls are doing this today.
Yeah.
No, you bend one knee and you turn your body a little bit sideways.
Yeah.
Oh, I see American women taking pictures of themselves and their friends taking pictures all the time. Like 80% of them do that.
Just change your top because it's so sweaty and roasting here, Stephen.
Yeah, and I turned the fucking heating on as well so I can have a shower. It's just.
This is my third t-shirt.
Fuck.
Today. Third t-shirt.
I'm just like. I'm sorry, lads. It's not natural. I know. Again, right? We're like going into where it's like the degrees in Celsius. It sounds like we're the biggest bunch of fucking pussies on the but it's just we're like. I know that we had talked about it last time on like one of my last streams. We're not used to the fucking heat, and Irish homes are built to keep the heat in, not to let it out. I am fucking sweltering in this room. It's not even. Sorry, detour aside. Back to the
temperature is always comparative, because human beings adjust to temperature very slowly, but we do adjust. So yeah. it's the change that matters, not the temperature.
Yeah, it's the sudden spike in hot temperature. Yeah,
15 degrees of a jump in some places, like, you know. 10 and 11 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, 10 and 11 when it's raining, normally grand. Yeah. Even in the winter, you know, you'll get cold nights, but during the day it's 8 or 9. You know, it makes it lower because of the wind chill factor. It's manageable. Like, but it's always in around 10 to 15 degrees. And then it jumps to 25 and 30, and you're like,
and it's just, no, this is not okay. Like, if that 10-degree increase was spread across like 2 months or even 1 month, realistically, okay. you'd kind of adjust to it, but just not. This sudden shit, no, I'm not. Oh.
And then it vanishes for 3 days.
This shirt is like a single thread thick. It's ridiculously thin, and I'm still fucking warm in it.
This is looking down over Ashley Falls. That man there in the middle is the one that lives quite close. And we have a little Indian family. Loads of European people. Loads of them. My campsite, you know, was very multicultural. Loads of different languages I heard all over the place. Now, this is on the top of Ashley Falls, and that's looking back at where the river comes from.
Oh, okay.
That's the top of Ashley Falls. And this woman was over on her own. I'm pretty sure that that's the woman's son. He didn't take any interest. He was on his mobile. She's taking pictures of the fucking water. Hauling them over and shit. So what do you think Elena did? Fucking Elena
went and talked to him.
Oh, no, fuck the wee boy. Elena wants to go hang out on the edge of the waterfall. Right?
Oh, okay.
This is us on the edge of the waterfall, and she's down here with this woman here, sitting. And then I climbed over the edge of the waterfall and climbed down the waterfall a wee bit to get these shots. It was stepped, so I was like, that's going to be so easy to climb down. Hanging on a branch out here with a fucking phone, you know, like this, to try and get sort of an angle on it. And there's me. You see, you go into the pro mode up here. See how it just went...
That's too dark.
Yeah, it went brown and washed and like old looking.
Mm-hmm.
No. That's a good shot of her. If I was gone, that would be fantastic. If that boy and that woman was gone, that would be a great shot.
You can edit them out.
Well, I tried. I seen that one at the time, so I tried to get it and I got that. which I think, and I just want to get rid of the wisps of the hair here, and
Why?
know, just there, because I think they draw away from the frame of her face. Just these 4 or 5.
No, she just looks like a natural child with her hair's messy. She's out in the middle of the wind.
Oh yeah, it's
wonderful.
windy.
It's a great picture.
Yeah, look at the next one. I'm fucking pissed, Daddy. Don't push me over the waterfall. Yeah, she was like, look at her. She's so fucking happy. She loves talking to people. And who's this bitch photobombing that I've just noticed? Who's this bitch here just fucking leaned in, just going, I'm gonna be in the picture.
Could you imagine the scenario in your head where, you know, it's a Tuesday night, there's not much going on, you're kind of a little bit bored, you're like, do you know what, I'm going to go onto YouTube, and for some reason, it takes you to the, you know, currently streaming section, and you're like, oh, MathPig, that sounds like an interesting channel. You click onto it, and suddenly the host of the channel is calling you a bitch. It's just, could you fucking imagine? Just from that standpoint, like, it's, look,
and see yourself
of it happening are like ridiculously small, but
man, I am waiting. I am
still
waiting
possible.
to look out in the chat for a random person. And if you, Liam from Swansea, are watching, and one of the 13 people watching, right? I rang up today to cancel my BT contract, which I've had for nearly 10 years, to move it to this one because this is an O2. So I had to go to fucking O2 to get the phone, and I specifically wanted this phone. If anyone knows, it's the nothing one, flashy lights in the back and all that crap. And so when I rang up to talk, he was like, right, well, your contract for your fibre runs out in December, so what we can do now is we can have a look at it and just make sure that after 2 years you're getting the best. To do this, you know, every couple of years you can ring up. And I was like, right, brilliant, worked out perfect. We went and looked through it, and he goes, you're on full fibre at the minute with 500 down and 70 to 80 up. I was like, yes, it's fucking loads. And he goes, well, if you give me £1 extra, seeing as we're cancelling your BT contract, costs you £1, you're still saving 18 quid, but I'll give you 900 down and 120 up for £1 extra than what you're paying now. I was like, to be honest, I don't even want to spend the £1. I'm happy with the internet. Can you get me what I'm on now, but cheaper? And he looked and he goes, no, there's no offer in that at the minute. This is the best. We fucked about and all the rest of it. I said to him, grand, go with it. It'll help me with YouTube. And he goes, oh, you're on YouTube. We talked for about 15 minutes, man. Not even about the phone, not even about anything. I was talking about that hangout about the cochlear implants. I was making fun of the fucking crazy fundamentalist Christians that turn up. So, and that I was streaming with you the night. And he at the end of the conversation, he mentioned that you do. All was how the advisor was and this, that, and the other. And he goes, directly related it to me. So if I give you a glowing report, if you turn up and say hello in the live stream tonight. And he went, right, it's a deal. So I gave him 10 out of 10 in everything, right? Wrote him a wee mini paragraph about how he was so helpful and wonderful and great and all the rest of it. I rang up O2, used the puck code that they give you so I can keep my phone number because I've had it for 20 years. Give it to the fucking, whoever it was, he definitely wasn't English. Give it to him. He's like, right, your phone number will be transferred with tomorrow. So I hang up my phone, and then BT rings me back. And it's the woman, works further up the line than Liam. She's got a flash on her account because Liam's requested a puck code, which means I want to move my number. But then he closed my number's account, which means the number gets sent to the bin and never used again. So he's, done two things that are not complementary. They, don't work with each other, so the system flashed up. She's like, it doesn't make sense that you've had the number for 7 years. You asked for a puck code and then deleted it. And I was like, nah, me and him were just slobbering and talking shite for 15 minutes. We got 10 out of 10 for everything and a glowing report. And the fucker nearly deleted my number forever. So Liam, if you're out there, pay attention when you're slobbering shite to the customers. But other than that, he was good crack. I even said to the woman, she was like, I'm in the mobile department and I have to transfer you back because the thing that he gave me with the broadband had to be cancelled as well. He had to transfer me back to the broadband department to re-get the deal. And I says to her, well, if you can, His name was Liam, based in Swansea. She was like, yeah, Swansea's where we are. And I had his name and all written down. I go, send me back to him and I'll fucking shout at him for you. And she went, brilliant, no bother, give me a minute. She explained to the guy and he came onto the phone, right? And he goes, hello, this is Liam from Swansea. Surprisingly though, not the Liam that you're looking for, unfortunately. And I was like, well, hello Liam too. Can you help me out? They were a very good customer service, I have to say, but it was funny. So Liam, if you're out there, hi Sandy, I see you now. My audio cuts out when I move away from the mic because I have a compression on, Sandy. I keep forgetting to lean towards the mic. The people in the hangout don't notice, but OBS does. But yeah, it was quite funny that I give him a 10 out of 10. Liam, if you're out there, thumbs up for being good banter, but don't hit the delete button. Just like, you know. I'm slobbering and ranting on. This is very highly caffeinated alcohol. I'm only halfway down through the first cup.
That's what I'm saying, man. You're gonna like, you basically just pour the coffee into your drink. Like that's essentially what's after happening. Like
4 Red Bulls, probably.
Well, yeah, like it's just ridiculous. How you drink that stuff anyway? I don't fucking know.
I know, it's lovely.
Well, you can't taste the caffeine,
No, it's
can
not.
you?
It's fucking awful.
No, it tastes like really bad medicine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's it. Yes, thank you, Richard. I know that you've never had it, but thank you, because like, just no, awful. Like, you would fucking
What's
highly
fast tastes
recommended
like
it
some
for
kind of
so long.
medication.
You know, like
And
an
then-
old cough bottle. And not the nice cough
Yeah.
bottle that you get now for kids and stuff. Do you know that old cough
Oh,
medicine your mother used to give you? The brown
It's
sort
like
of
that.
tarry stuff.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is brown and tarry. That's why it's in a green bottle.
Uh-huh.
It's sort of the similar, but more sweeter. Think of it slightly sweeter.
And you know other things exist that taste better.
Yeah, but this is the best. And my daughter does it well by hiding her head in shame at what her father just said. Look, silly pose. Don't know what she's doing with this pose. This is when we went up past the beaten path, and as you can see, it got a little muddy, and she may have got stuck.
Foot is disappeared in the mud there.
She disappeared in the.
Just a little.
Well, I don't like sticking to the path. Fuck the path. You get better adventures off the fucking beaten path. You really do, like that's a shot from off the beaten path, you know.
Yeah,
These are-
at her age, mud is fun. You know, 10 years from now, she won't think the same thing.
And look back, look at her shoes, man. Right, these are proper wet shoes that you can go in and out. They're flexible and stuff. Once we get in, I took her nice goodies off and put these on so her mother wouldn't shout at me. And then she told her mother the next day, and her mother was like, yes, doesn't matter that daddy ruined the goodies. She's got these anyway, you know. It's fine. And they're designed to go in and out of the, you know, for walking in rivers so you don't hurt your feet on the stones. Dry out in 2 seconds, like. Good wee buy, because we do a lot of river walks and stuff. This is just up round the corner. So when you're sitting at Ashley Falls, you'll barely see this. If you just walk on up and just round the corner, this is just there, you know. So I know it's not.
I like you got a shot of a shadow of a dragon on the hillside over there. I like that.
Up here.
I'm trying to practice my pareidolia.
Ah.
If it doesn't really look like a dragon, you'll forgive me. I'm a novice.
But now looking at that, to me, man, I'd say, is that not more of an ant with an antennae and one arm coming forward?
That's yeah.
I told you I'm
that's
no good
kinda
at
what
this.
I'm also seeing.
Sorry. I'm brand new trying to have pareidolia. I'm trying to be like other humans.
So yeah, I thought if we would go up here, we'd get some more privacy. You know, you could jump into the water. Plus, I didn't want her jumping in the water below the waterfall because it was so deep, or directly behind the waterfall in case she slipped him and over the fucking edge, like, you know. So this is far better because there was loads of rocks here, little pools that the water was flowing through, keeping it fresh, but that she could jump in and out of, you know. There's a video around here, and I'm taking a video of her, and she's just like, "Hello, mommy, we're in the river. We're in the river." Very cute. Probably boring everybody. Right, see, we're back to pro
You're
mode.
good. You're good.
Went back to pro mode and it did this brown thing on me. Like an 80s sort of... I don't know.
I wish I had had children. That's what this makes me think.
I'm glad, I think. Now, there's the portrait mode trying to blur the background and just focus it on her.
Yeah, it did.
This is how fucking hot it is.
Why?
Why? Because I'm trying to do this and didn't realize it
Just
done.
a very close-up photo of your forehead.
This is me fucking about with a phone, man, and I can't see the screen because it's so bright. So that's why I'm so close, and I accidentally hit the button, and I kept it because it's like, look at the shine of that head. You know? Look at how closed my eyes are. I can't even see, you know, the camera.
Yeah.
This is where all my favourite shots of the holiday come in now, like the artsy ones, so to speak. Cut her out of that one would make a great shot.
Just superimpose another rock. Just copy a rock and put it over top of her. It'll look natural as anything.
So many rocks up here. Find something gooey. I don't know what I don't know. Who knows what you fucking find?
I would have nightmares.
I climbed up onto the top of the waterfall. The wee mini one. And these are shots from there's a couple here, just this wee spot, I think just look really Newton's dead center and that the water's in focus at the front. These are some. That one I focused just on the water. Trying to get down.
I like that cat swimming in the middle of that shot. That's pretty cool.
This.
Yeah.
There you go, Stephen. You like them sort of shots. I took that one for the back of my phone, for a phone background.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Like, it's really nice.
Look at how clear the water is too. That is just like, you could drink that water.
Yeah.
Elena wouldn't. She shouted at me for drinking it, but I was like, why not? That's dirty water, Daddy. I was like, this is the cleanest water you've ever seen in your life, darling. Fine.
Yeah. No, like, it's still kind of nice to see, like, little kind of spots like that, like, you know, like, where it is so clear, like, it's kind of, I don't know how to, just like a non-polluted pool of water. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, if you look at any of the water, like, that's, like, around Ireland, or, like, even, like, the river that's going through Dublin, do you know what I mean? The water's just brown. It's just brown, like.
We have
but that water is fucking crystal clear. Like, it's so nice to see. Just like
we have a river at the bottom of the hill that me and her would spend the summers in when we're here. Literally 5 minutes walk, bottom of the hill, and I'll happily drink the water out of it because it's clear that you can see to the bottom. But I did one day take a bottle of it home and put it in the fridge to see what it was like ice cold. Right, I wanted to see, you know, drink it ice cold. It did have a slight green tinge to it. I drank it anyway, like, but I'd been drinking it for years before I took it home, like.
Yeah.
But it did have a slight green tinge. That was as clear. That was crystal, absolute crystal clear. Some of these shots here. I want to edit this one so this is in the center. It's just off center. See this blue pile here? That should be more to the right, would be a better picture. So I'll have to crop it down. Quite a nice shot. That mountain, I don't know what the fuck that mountain or hill is. I need to find the name of that fucker, but I love the shape of it. I'm thinking it's an old volcano or some shit. Look at the way it dumps.
Oh, it's art.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it kind of has to be. It's the way
it looks like there's a caldera where the top of the mountain got blown off at some point.
Fucking cool would it be to walk up that hill and camp in the middle of that and spend a couple of days there? Just, you know, sneakily fishing from the lake and not paying the big fucking whatever it is down south, like.
It might be extra warm up there, actually.
I have never. I've seen pictures from all over the world, and I've been to a few places, but I know them. And that started off as this, right? And I cropped it down to put it in the center, and up with the black and white one. And I think I want to get the black and white one. I said this to Richard. I want to get that done as a big canvas for the hall. I don't know if I want the black and white one or that one. What do you think, Stephen?
I think the black and white one.
I'm leaning towards
Whatever that is, your cursor.
It's sort of because it's not. You kind of look at it and it's not like, you know what I mean, 100% like.
Is it
It's
real
sort of like
or
it's not-
is it drawn?
It's what? Yeah, right. It's sort of like the photo is not in, we'll say, like 1080p. You know what I mean? Like it looks like the resolution of it is kind of gone. That's probably just because you've kind of like cropped it in, like, and stuff like that. But putting it in black and white, then like it looks like that photo could be like 100 years old. You know?
Yeah. Well, there's the original. It looks a wee bit clearer in color, and then
Yeah.
even the cropped one, I can see what you mean. You see if you look here, you know, it's a wee bit blurry, and then you get that black and white version. Like, but that's one of my favorites. I think it's just sort of, I don't know, it's an artsy fartsy photo, like, but
Yeah.
these are shots on the way home as well.
Whilst you were not driving.
In Minecraft.
Yeah.
Right, now that was the original, and I thought that one would be good in black and white. I like the way the sun comes through the clouds with a straight white line, you know, because the white line barely stands out here, where if you put it there, it really draws attention.
Yeah.
Oh, and the black and white sort of kills these fence posts, where in that, the fence posts are quite predominant, where in that...
You can see them, whereas they, like, that, like, it's not the first thing like that you notice. For me, the first thing that I notice is kind of where your mouse is right now. It's just a little bit over. It's kind of that cloud, that mountain area.
That's
the
exactly
first thing that
where
I notice when I look at it.
Yeah, the black and white draws me there. That's right. Yeah, in and around that area there with the mountain and the clouds. That's where it draws me. Like, just passed out. Right, this is the excitable bit. 3 fucking days when we arrived, first thing I had to do when we got there is like, Daddy, when's the horses? Right, hold on. Promised her there'd be horses because this is only round the corner. And I rang up and they were like, no, not in the day. What about tomorrow? No, not in tomorrow. I was like, I'm here for 4 days. You better have something. And they were like, we've something on Saturday. I was like, brilliant. We leave Sunday. Give me the one on Saturday. Give me that. Basically £1 a minute to walk around with someone holding a horse, but she'd never been on a horse before. Although she was told everybody she had. She's only been on a Shetland pony. You know, she's never... Whatever the fuck horses are called. It was called Biscuit because
horses, I would have thought.
What? There's two main breeds of horses that the woman mentioned when we were talking. There's 2 types of horses.
Okay, well, you left that information out because what you just said is, or whatever horses are called.
Yes, the breed of them.
I was just like, horses, surely, because that's what they're fucking called.
There's ponies and there's horses, and then a pony is anything under 16 hands, and you measure a hand this way, like this. That's 2 hands,
right?
And so that's a pony. That's not a horse.
This.
Yeah, that you got there.
This is a horse.
That's a pony. No, it's not.
The woman called it a horse. Now this is a half breed. This is a half breed. They're not sure what type of the father is because the mother went out for a walk one day and came back pregnant. That's how she put the story.
The horse's shoulder is shorter than the woman's shoulder. Unless she's 7 feet tall, that's a pony.
He referred to it as a horse. She is an expert from England. Shut up.
How about that?
It is the horse. It's the horse they use for kids at the start for their first.
Stop crushing MathPig's dreams. Mom, Dad, stop fighting.
I'm going to ring the woman.
You should definitely keep a pony for children. Yes.
Right. It's not a pony. It's a small horse. Okay. It's called Biscuit. Shut up. It's called Biscuit because it's got little chocolate chips on its wee white bum, so it looks like a biscuit. Right. See that?
It's a beautiful pony.
It was very and I'll tell you, it was.
Sorry.
It was very, very good with
It's
the
just how fucking insistent you are. No, it is a pony. It's not a horse. It's a pony.
I'm gonna ring up.
There's no way that's 16 or more hands. There's
I
no
can.
way.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna look up Ashford Equication or whatever the fuck they're called stables. The horse and its breed, right? So yeah, this is Biscuit. Biscuit's very good horse. And yeah, I don't know I was gonna make a point, but then walks you around the grounds. Woman was very chatty. And that's what I was saying. The horse was very well behaved. You had to say whoa Biscuit to make it stop and go on Biscuit to make it go forward. And as soon as Elena gave it the wee 2 taps and said that, the horse went. You know, from the first go, it was very well behaved horse for a stranger. With a stranger. 16 hands is actually quite tall for a horse. Google it again, Richard, according to Sandy.
No, it's not tall for a horse. That's a standard horse. 18 to 21 hands is a big horse, like Clydesdales. Much more over 16 hands. Dude, I love horses. You don't even know.
I'm nearly sure on their fucking website they have. Tell me the breed and everything.
That
Okay.
looked like some variation of a quarter horse, which a quarter horse is a pony. Biscuit looks like something mixed quarter horse. If you looked up purebred quarter horse, it would look very similar to that. Quarter horse as in bred to run the quarter mile. So they're sprinters.
This is fucking. Hang on. Right, we're not looking at the
Now,
website.
quarter horse will be
We're not
between
looking at the
something around
website.
13 to 15 hands.
Right.
Oh, it says pony. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
MathPig's lost the argument.
Now,
MathPig's
Yeah.
lost the debate.
the woman said it was a fucking horse, a specific type of horse, and it began.
A pony is a kind of horse.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's not a separate. They can
pony is a
interbreed, you
type of
know.
horse.
It's not a different species.
Know what you mean, but the woman said to me that the father and the mother was some type of horse. I know what you're saying is a pony is defined by height, not breed.
Mm-hmm.
But fucking bitch, right? Made me look like a cunt, right? This is me taking the picture. Now, do you see the way the wall is parallel to the fucking top? Right?
Yes.
That's a good picture. And then this woman, that there, not too bad. She takes this one's mad angle. She's not a great photographer, although that one I'm quite happy with. That one came out alright. Back to me again. That was while the horse was galloping, so that's why it's a little bit. You give the horse a kiss and everything too, like.
Oh,
Right, now this is the cave. And the cave has a fence around the
Doesn't look
entrance. Right? The cave has
dangerous
a
at all.
the cave has a fence around the entrance with a big gate with a massive chain around it with a padlock on it. And people have cut a hole in the fence right beside the gate, and it's big enough for a decent sized human to just walk through. Okay?
That's not where I thought that was going. I thought you said that they're after cutting a hole in it. It's like a makeshift glory hole, but you know that's
Big
that's
ass
just me.
hole in the fence. The castle is Ashford Castle, Sandy. So yeah, people coming there have cut a like I could easily step through it without any effort and lean through and pull Elena through the fence because she couldn't step over it. Yeah, it was. People just went fuck it and just cut a big hole in it. So she came over all excited to see the cave, looked down that and went no, and stormed off like 7 foot to the seat like a picnic chair and sat down. Goes, Daddy, I'm not going in there. That's dark. No. Started to cry and everything because I then climbed through the fence. And she was like, I'll go down myself and I'll take some pictures. No, don't leave me. And I was like, well, if you don't want to be left, come on with me. I'm not a brave girl. I'm not on all this. And I was like, nah. On our way home, we're stopping for lunch. I'll let you get an ice cream afterwards. Oh. Because it was one ice cream a day, you know, because I don't want to get too bad. She'd already had her ice cream. So yes, I bribed the child with an ice cream. But she came through the fence and she got over and she was Like, there's a picture coming up, right? Look at her. She fought her fears. She did. She was like, I'm not a brave girl, Daddy. I'm not a brave girl. And I was like, you are brave because you're doing it. The fact that you're,
Apparently.
conquering your fear and doing it. All for the ice cream. And the fuckers have piped all the water. See? All the water at the bottom of the cave. And you can see when she gets to the bottom, she's happy. She conquered her fear. She was grand.
Doesn't that mean it'd be full of water if they hadn't pumped out the water?
I would say at certain times of the year it would be high, but during the summer it wouldn't.
Okay.
It is quite deep there as well. It goes down. Like, it goes down, man. It's deep, but I was hoping for a little trail of water. No water. Just dirty pipes. Oh, what's going on with their nose there? Sunlight was just ruining me. That's the steps down. Totally 100% safe. All of them bars didn't wobble. None of them wobbled. They were all stable, I mean. It was 100% safe. This big thing in the middle, Elena says to me, why is this here, Daddy? Why is there a bump in the middle? It's really awkward to get past. And I was like, because if anyone slips at the top, they're not going to fall to the bottom and die. They'll be able to hit this and stop. Okay.
I think that's the actual answer.
Okay. She's like, I'm not going to slip. I'm not going to slip.
Can we just kind of backtrack a little bit to where you said that it was 100% safe, and yet they have a safety measure in place in case someone slips?
Man, have you seen the ground? It's basically moss.
That seems a little bit.
It's basically.
I know that, but I'm just saying that sounds a little bit. Contradictory. Yeah.
It's an added safety measure. Does that make
It's
it?
an
Well, if it's
unnecessary.
100% safe, then it's unnecessary. Exactly.
No, it's 100% safe because of that. That is included in
Oh,
the 100% safe.
Ah, right. Okay.
If
Well,
that wasn't there, it would only be 90% safe.
okay, but that's just giving it that extra. Little
That gives
10%,
it
yeah?
that bit that brings it up to make sure that it's
Okay.
100% safe. Because even if you do fall, you're not going to die because you stop halfway. You just get a concussion.
Nothing's 100% safe.
Shut up. That's how deep underground we went, right? So that's the abseiling. People do abseiling.
Can't tell. What is that like? What is that like? 10 meters, something like that.
Bigger than a 2-story house over here.
You know what meters are? Tell me in meters. What do you think?
I didn't measure it when I was looking at it.
No, just guess. Your experience.
Knowing that, I would probably use feet. Probably 100 or 200 foot, like. Oh, that wouldn't be. No.
Wow.
No, that's a lie. No, that's far too much. It's at least.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, just
deep
do
is-
it in meters, man. Don't
Just-
pretend you know feet.
Somebody Google how deep is Pigeonhole Cave. Right? How deep is.
Oh, good. We got somebody to do it.
Everybody else too slow.
I got nothing to compare it to, so I can't tell the scale of this photo.
I
That's what
know,
I'm saying.
I know. I wanted to do that. I deliberately actually lay down in the ground a wee bit and aimed directly up to give it that longer look, which is why I'm looking at this picture, knowing that this picture looks bigger than what it is because of the angle I took. Like,
30. I'm gonna say 10 meters, give or take 2.
I was just going to say, you used to taking photos at certain angles that things look bigger than what they actually are, MathPig?
Dum.
if this elevation is correct, it says 20 meters.
20. Wow, twice as much as I thought.
So that's we were here, and Pigeonhole Cave is there, and you get to walk through Dog Cave, but there was a path that actually went up around that way. You know, for one,
20 meters, by the way, is roughly 60 feet.
100 foot wasn't too bad, but anyway, that's what it is. I took the picture deliberately to make it look bigger.
It's only 40% wrong. Yeah, that's not bad.
Right,
It's almost 50% wrong.
again.
It's almost half.
It's almost half wrong, but yeah, it's great.
Hello, Raw. Hello, Raw. Now, Elena's taking all these pictures again. Now, at this point, she's starting to get a wee bit worried and wants to leave. So the first couple of pictures are shite, right? They're useless because she just does this and takes a picture. And I look at them and I was like, I know you can do better than this. and we're going to stay here till you take a good picture. So if you rush it and take a load of wrong ones, we're going to be here longer. You just need to stop, put me in the
That's
middle of the
pretty
picture.
tough, Dad.
And
How'd
take the
she
pic-
do with that?
She stood there and took the picture, right? You can see that they get better, right? And they do get better. Like, from that, with her finger over to putting me in the center, getting the light right, wee bit blurry there. That one was good. That one's good.
Yeah, you know what? These pictures reveal that you're not as old or fat as I thought.
Ah, I look alright.
Yeah.
I like that picture. My face wasn't as white and Irish, you know? But it's not a bad picture.
That's okay. I'm red.
Yeah, she
I'm a
just
red
bowed
person.
on. I took the camera back off her and she goes, "You happy with them pictures, Daddy?" And I went, "Yeah." And she went, "Right, I'm leaving." And
I promised her.
I did. So she just walked on. And she's like, "Are you coming?" No, she just bowls on. "Are you coming? I'll be up in a minute. I'm taking pictures." Just bowls on up. Not a fear going up the stairs. I'm fucking done. I'm out of here. Just bowls on up out of the stairs. Finds a stick then when she gets out of there. Starts walking with the walking stick. You know? His daddy has a stick too. So she has to have one. Like,
She's planning to have a bad knee later.
look at my glasses. This is why I rang 6 opticians yesterday trying to get an appointment for glasses. They're fucked. I need new glasses. They're all over the shape.
I don't see anything wrong with your glasses. Sorry.
Look at them.
Why
They're
are
not,
they lopsided?
because they're 3 pairs of glasses put together with the nose parts grinded off and held together with welding wire and insulation tape. They're fucked.
You're a machinist. I expect more out of you than that. Why don't you solder them?
And I've spent 6 and
Okay,
7 years to a
that-
wrong metal, right? Look at her face. She is not happy because there's parsley on her rice. I don't eat vegetables, Daddy. They did not say. Not happy. And picked it off, and as you can see, there's one already in the ashtray. She just started lifting it and dumping it in the ashtray. No, I don't like this, Daddy. No. Didn't say there was going to be green stuff on it. I think that's it. I ended it with a picture of this. From the provisional government to the Irish Republic people of Ireland. And it's all about fighting the Brits, you know. Gotta get there.
What's the year on that? I don't see a year. Probably near the bottom somewhere. No. Plinkett doesn't start with a Mac or a Mick. What the hell's up with the name Plinkett being there?
Irish Planket now in iron, so I don't know. A memorial for the Irish volunteers or something. I don't know.
You got yourself in the shot.
Aye. Last man, it was so bright. There you go.
Sergeant Sam says it was 1921.
He thinks that's from 1921, or is he just guessing on what the date of what this is referring to?
It just says 1921.
Oh no, I can see that.
I don't know if it's
I'm asking the question to Sergeant Sam. Sergeant Sam, how did you come up with that date? What point of relevance in this document, so to speak, are you using to come up with that date? Oh, Bree's here. Hi, Bree. But,
How long's poor Bree been there?
Not that long. It's 12:13 and that's now 12:19. So 6 minutes. Fuck off. Stop making me look bad tonight. Yeah, so that's it. That's the end of the pictures. You know, there's some I like. The Ashley Falls is just.
The entire holiday looks enviable.
I'm definitely going back next year, man. Like I really do think there's 10 caves in total. There's another couple of old fucking churches and shit like that to go to. There's another 2 waterfalls. Like, I'm definitely going back next year, you know.
Did Bree drop out? Or are they only in the chat?
Their literal words is, "You could fill Stephen with balls as well." That's the last thing they typed in the chat. And that is the last thing typed in the chat. So I think Bree's coming on to Stephen. Maybe Bree thinks that he's the first top sexiest Irishman in the community.
Well, I mean, there's to be fair, there's a lot of people who think that, but okay.
You do hang
It's
around.
not really an opinion.
You hang around some ugly people, Stephen. You know, I've seen your friends.
I've known women that did that on
I
purpose
mean,
too. I mean,
like, you know, if you want to go there and say that I hang around with some ugly people, I mean, I'm on stream with you a lot, so
Yeah. I was insulting Kevin in a roundabout way, you know, but you know.
I know exactly what you were doing. I know exactly what you were doing.
Bree, would you like to come
okay,
in?
I'm gonna have a cigarette break. See you guys in a minute.
See you in a minute, man.
Would you like to come in?
I kind of like Bree. I miss my hair as well, but unfortunately, it fell out, so I just had to buzz it off. I mean, look, there was no kind of point. I had it kind of short-ish, right? Like it was like it wasn't long, but it was kind of, you know what I mean? It was just kind of like average length, I guess, right? And this is what genuinely 100% true. I was walking through my nan's house, and she has like a sunroom, and she has like this big fucking pane of glass that you can see through into the living room. And I was walking past there, and whatever way the fucking light hit, I caught a glimpse of the back, like there, the back of my head, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm 100% bald there. So I was just like, no, just fuck this, just buzz it off. I'm like, I'm not growing it out and doing a comb over or fucking switching it back or anything. No, just buzz it off. I always said that. I've been saying that for about a decade. Like that, if I did ever get like actually bald, that I just buzz it off.
Yeah.
Just fuck it.
Well, that's why I kept that picture of my big shiny head as well. It's a bit of crack. Look at how fucking bald you are, you know?
Yeah. And I do like it.
Not less hassle.
There's an awful lot less hassle. Yeah, I'm thinking of like actually getting like a razor and like properly fucking shaving.
Oh yeah, I do that as well.
So it's like, you know, fucking Heisenberg a la Breaking Bad, you know.
I will say the first
fucking...
time you do that, man, make sure it's a brand new, not disposable razor. You know, actually go and buy a Mach 3 that you're going to continue to use. Get the proper ones. Buy sensitive skin gel, not foam. Get the sensitive skin gel. Because the first time you do that on your head is the first time you've ever shaved that head. So like when it comes,
yeah.
You know, when it comes to now, I can use disposables now, but for the first 6 months, it was like, you know, really sensitive, because you've never done it. But now it's used to it. I just buy the big disposables are grand.
Yeah.
Oh, it does be sensitive. It does be very sensitive. Bree, I've sent you the link already in the Twitters. Also sent it to Stool, but Stool seems to have ran away. There you go. Sam has just come back and he has confirmed that it is 1919 rather than 1921. 1919 is First World War, or is that Easter Rising you're talking about, Stephen? Or Sam?
That'd be Easter Rising, no?
1919, is that Easter Rising, isn't it?
I think it's Easter Rising, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Easter Rising.
Yeah. Look at us not knowing our own history. Look at you.
I know.
Look at you not
shocking.
knowing your. I'm not.
I fucking know. Shut up. I know.
I'm deliberately. I have an excuse. I'm a prod. I'm not supposed to know all this Catholic history.
Yeah, you're from Fake Island. I know.
And
yeah,
the enemy.
yeah. I fucking know it's shameful, but sure, what can I say? There's very little I can do about it now, isn't there?
Dude, you've got the link. Did you touch your little yellow box yesterday? Did you get your little bits all in your other little bits? And how's your Davy Jones locker? Click the link and come on in. Hit and click the link. Jesus, I'm even slurring my words and I haven't even finished.
I know.
Half a bottle. That's well caffeinated, like.
Telling you, bye.
Buzz, 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 buzz.
What the fuck was that?
That was me saying hello to Bree. When they enter the chat, they say buzz. Yeah, I
okay.
totally saved
Okay.
myself really well there.
Well, yeah, but they entered chat like a long time ago.
Delay.
It seems a little bit delayed.
No, there's just a delay. There's just a delay.
That's a fairly sick
Yeah,
difference.
it didn't make a random caffeine noise and cover my ass. Just a delay.
Yeah. I don't know.
See how the fun.
Are you able to see sounds at this point?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Although I'm starting to feel a little fuzzy.
I was just gonna say, fucking finish the bottle. You
darling.
will be able to.
Oh, she can come in and say hello. Say hello to Emma. Everybody can see you, Pet. There's 15 people watching, just to let you know. You and your. No. It's just some people worry, you know. No, not these people. They don't care. Stephen won't come on topless or naked or get his ass out because he's afraid.
I'm in pajamas. Stop getting off.
I'm not. You're saying that I'm afraid to come on here fucking shirtless? I've been on your stream in drag. What are you talking about?
Still dressed.
Why is it drag?
No, he's not.
It's
a
still
drag queen.
dressed, but
Oh, you're keeping me going.
He's done drag before. Jody says Emma. Says
Hi, Judy.
hey Emma, and then hi Emma. Hi, HIG.
Hi. It's you. Hi.
You see why I have all these monitors, Stephen? You know,
yeah.
and a good
I
sound
know. You
setup.
have a purpose
so
for all of them.
5.
5. It's not enough. Need more. Richards went off for a smoke.
Oh.
It's not enough. How many monitors do you need?
Nobody there. That's why they're blank, Pet.
Oh, really?
No. I can't have a conversation with you. I'm sorry, because it's like if I talk, I can't do this.
Sorry.
Oh no, I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be rude. See, I'm rude. Everybody's gonna think I'm rude now. Come here, darling.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Should be cheeky ginger.
I am a cheeky ginger. Just you wait. Just you wait. Bye, Stephen.
Bye.
I'm really rude, you see. But if I'm sitting talking to her, then I'm not.
Well, you are still on stream. You're just not facing stream. But I mean, like, it's sort of like, it's the way that when I'm on stream, so I have my camera here, but my main monitor is here. So I'm looking at everybody here, but it just looks like I'm, you know what I mean? It looks like it's not.
But I
like,
can tell
I'm,
when you're not
I'm
paying.
almost never looking direct. Like,
We can tell them when you're not paying attention. Where my main monitor's here and the camera's there, so I'm all.
well, yeah, true. Yeah, all right, okay. I'm not saying that you have a point, but you win this battle.
But I'm very high. Sergeant Sam will understand. Sergeant Sam, you should go over the border and get yourself some Irish buckfast. Sam's very fond of the buckfast. Somebody alarm is going off outside. Like fuck.
Oh. Well, you can't hear. Well, I can't hear it anyway.
No, it's quiet for
Oh.
me. I have the window open, like, but. Bree, are you coming in? Is there anyone else coming in?
Yeah, I was just gonna say you've sent out an awful lot of fucking invites and stuff like that.
Nobody loves me tonight. Do you know why? They're all over in Jefferson's. Jeff's still going.
Is Jeff still going? Actually,
Oh, we're gonna lose
I don't know.
loads of people now.
let's see.
Oh,
Just gonna.
Oh.
The African Humanist is live. Yeah, she has 19 people watching her, so
I thought it
there's
was
probably some amount of crossover there.
I thought it was quite funny earlier because Jefferson, right? You know yourself, Jay and Jeff are brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always make a joke about Team J, right? I'd be Team J, you know, Team J, go Team J. And Jefferson started a half an hour before me, and I got the alert, so I popped in. And I was like, "Oh, so you're the one that's been stealing my audience on a Tuesday." I know, wind him up a wee bit, and he was like, "Do you go live on Tuesday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for like years, you know, just giving him shit."
Yeah.
And then his brother appears out of nowhere and goes, No, Maya says it's not Thursday. And then Jay popped in and went, MathPig goes Tuesdays and Thursdays usually. He remembers, you know?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he is. I think he stopped. Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I can't actually see it. That's not to say that he's not obviously like, but what was I gonna say to you? Kevin has a newfound faith in me because after the bones of a decade, I finally started watching Breaking Bad, and I'm a little bit hooked on it now. I'm not gonna lie. As in, I'm on like episode 10 of season 3. I started watching it 2 days ago.
It's
like
all right, in my opinion.
No, it's such a good show, man. It's such a good show. Like, apparently it like gets even worse, but like, well, not worse, but the complete and utter 180 in Walter White between the first episode and the last one, it's so much more obvious. But you can even see now, like, where I am in it. Like, he's after getting to like maybe like 110, 120 the way there. You know, it's just then just like it's just the rest of it, but it's just that change. Like, it's fucking man.
I did like
Good,
see,
good. I like it.
as long as you're liking it. The movie, watch the movie at the end. The movie's awful.
They did a movie?
They made a movie about Jesse after the series ended to round up the.
Oh. Why is it awful?
It's awful because it's awful.
Oh.
Even I watched it with a Breaking Bad fan that told me it wasn't great, and they watched.
Oh, okay.
I'll agree that it's not great, you know.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a Breaking Bad movie, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Ah, there you go, man. You see, now you learned something new today.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I might give it a watch just to kind of see, like, you know.
Shit movie. Sergeant Sam's popped in and said shit movie. Oh, Maya's here. Maya, hi. Is Jefferson over? Funny.
Yeah, no, I don't, like, yeah.
Doesn't I sent Maya the pictures anyway because Maya sent a message. She was like, "Are you withholding cute pictures of your daughter from me?" I just sent her the link to the entire album, so she didn't even need to watch the stream. She already has the pictures. Love you too, Maya. Welcome back, Richard.
How was your smoke break, sir?
It was a cigarette, and it's a maintenance drug. It's not a thrill.
What brand do you smoke?
Cheap.
Very interesting question.
You've probably never heard of Eagle 20s.
I've heard of them.
Eagle is ringing a bell.
Yeah,
It's a
right?
a fine cigarette. It's a Class A cigarette. I mean, it's in America, that's what you buy, and even the cheapest ones are actually really decent cigarettes. And I'm not picky or fancy.
Does it give you the nicotine content and all that shit on them?
It gives me everything I'm addicted to, and that's what I want.
mean, I have a breakdown of the tar, the nicotine, and the carbon monoxide per cigarette on the side of the box. Like,
No, this is the United States where they actually want you to kill yourself.
yeah, they don't want you to feel bad.
No. Capitalism, not honesty.
Well, these are a British cigarette, but these are bought in a foreign country and then brought. These are stamped for the EU, but in the UK, all packets of cigarettes must look the same.
Yeah, it's the same in Ireland now.
Yeah, every packet of cigarette over here looks like this now.
Yeah. Just awful fucking, like, the
Is there someone in a hospital bed?
Yep.
No, but it's the color.
that.
It's like the most bland color of green you've ever seen in your fucking life.
Yeah,
and
it's
they
like the
all
worst.
look like that now.
Yeah, somebody took army green and took a shit in it.
What? Yeah, and then just fucking blended it together.
And it's not just people
Yeah.
in. Yeah, well, you see, these These are bought in a foreign country, smuggled over here, and sold for $5.
Yeah.
It's got an eagle on it. There is
They're very
a
long.
little taxation, and there's a warning. Nicotine is addictive.
But no
Smoking
amount.
is addictive. No. Well, why would you care about that stuff?
See, that
Yeah,
just
but you
kinda
see,
seems
it's
to
not
me like
just
information
to
that
show
they
you.
just didn't need to do to.
Just to say, Richard, the pictures, it's not just a person in a bed. There's about 20 of them. Sometimes it's pictures of your lungs after 20 years when you've been smoking.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Not
it's...
my lungs.
Yeah, somebody's lungs, you know. They get quite gruesome and graphic on them. Like.
Yeah.
It has more to do with genetics than it does smoking. Like, there are people who get lung cancer and never smoked a cigarette.
Like that
and there's
guy
people
that
who smoked 40 years and didn't get lung cancer. I mean,
the guy that used to do the Guinness Book of Records TV show over here in the 90s. They had a TV show where they would do Guinness World Records and stuff like that, and they would try and break them on TV. I think it was the 80s or 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I don't know if Stephen remembers this. He was a baldy
date
guy,
doesn't matter.
but he was a massive trumpet player.
Uh-huh.
He died of lung cancer because it was before you couldn't smoke indoors, and he's up the front and he's breathing in everybody else's smoke. He never smoked a day in his life, but he died of lung cancer.
Wait. How do you know that the secondhand smoke is what gave him lung cancer?
I'm telling you a story from the 1980s, early 90s, and it's now 2022, so I'm going off a childhood memory. I could be wrong, but that is what was...
No, I'm sure that was the story.
I didn't medically
How
check.
did they know? How did they know that it was the secondhand smoke that gave him lung cancer?
Get away with a lot of shit in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
Don't know what that meant.
Even knows the movie, yeah?
I know the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, they get away with an awful lot of shit if you've money in the 80s.
Yeah.
Movie about stockbrokers in the 80s and 90s really is debauchery. Complete and utter debauchery. So much money that like hired people with dwarfism and throw them against the target because they can afford it. And that's the nice things.
Yeah.
I've heard stories. You know, sometimes when the conversation goes this way, I warn people that I knowingly accepted permanent scars and looked into things that most people would not want to look into.
Why?
Because I wanted the truth more than I wanted to be without scars.
That's a good phrase. Why don't you use that as a tagline for your channel, Richard?
Well, that's what I'm doing anyway. But I do like to warn people if I'm getting down to where the scars lie.
There been any waking dreams lately?
I have waking dreams all the time. I mean, I'm always asking questions. I'm always learning more.
No,
Never do we get to those parts of the conversation because the conversations I have with people are rather shallow and you never get to the deep stuff.
Right. Well, I hope you don't feel that way about our conversation. Oh, we made it all about me tonight.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, well, we have another 2 versions of the same story to go.
Oh, 3 years of conversation is just not enough to scratch but the surface.
Here's to more than 3.
Here's to more than
Now, I've lost my trail of thought, and I knew, and I said to myself, if I don't interrupt, I'm gonna...
It'll come back. Just try to forget it.
Daydreaming, waking dream. Yes, here we go. Now, you would be a person who I would consider to have a vivid imagination, Richard. And I don't want to say imagination that you make shit up or a childlike mind or anything. I am saying to you, because of what you have been through and explained to me, that if I asked you to describe or to think of something in your head, if I give you a good enough description of it, I'd say you could draw it if you were an artist. You have a good imagination. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you agree that you go through thought experiments?
No. I wouldn't. I ask direct questions, and then I get direct answers.
Do you understand what a thought experiment is?
A thought experiment is where you're in some kind of introspective or meditative state, considering possibilities.
Right. I probably used a bad descriptor. Let me see if I can word it. When you think and imagine something, if Stephen's sitting at home, you know, and he's lonely, he can think of the nice lady in his head. Sorry, Stephen, I'm just picking on you. Stephen's got a good imagination. When you imagine something and you're thinking about it, can you visualize it in your head? So when you ask these questions and you get these answers, unlike Stephen and using an old reference, Pamela Anderson actually being there, he's just imagining Pamela Anderson. Or is it Billie Eilish now? Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish.
Oh, that's a child. How old is she? She can't be, but
She's 20.
never mind. Keep going.
She's 20. It's fine.
Do you think she's sexy?
Huh?
Seriously though, Stephen, do you think that Billie Eilish is sexy?
I'll put it this way, Richard. I would crawl over broken glass just to suck the cock of the last man that fucked her.
Wow, that's
Then,
also
yeah,
very
that's
misogynistic.
profound.
I would ride her like a stolen bike. Yeah.
All right.
I'd fuck her until the neighbors complained about the smell. We getting the. We getting.
I get it. I think I get the general idea here. So more than a person might guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If
All
anything,
right.
we've twice as many people now watching when Stephen admits that than we had with the photos.
Right.
Okay.
And thank you for the new scars.
You're welcome. It's fine.
That
You're
really
welcome.
bothered me. I always want you to know. Okay, so no, back to the imagination thing and imagining what is.
The point is what I'm
right.
saying, right? And I don't want to criticize and you to take this as me. I am very blunt.
Not
But I
blunt,
just
is
had to
fine.
put up with an awful lot of it. But, you know, I'm not criticizing anything or your mental health or anything like that. But with your vivid imagination and the ability to vividly think and see these things in your mind, right? Under control, right? When you ask these questions and you get the answer, do you get it while, like, you ask the question when you're working, or do you sit down and pray? Do you do the Christian thing, or how is this?
I don't do any kind of rituals.
You're walking about driving the car and boom, you get an answer to the question you asked 2 weeks ago, or you get a question
No. The question I just asked.
quite quickly.
Less than seconds?
Impossible to do one on stream, or is it because
All the time.
you do it on the stream all the time?
No, I do it talking to people all the time. I've done it for people in the moment.
So if we were to ask a profound question, you could ask whatever entity you are in contact with, and within 5 minutes you'll get an answer.
3 seconds or less.
3 seconds or less. Anybody
Less
in the
than 3
question? No,
seconds.
just
Probably
I'm going to
the
think about it.
3-second thing is probably me thinking about it and trying to understand it, not that it took 3 seconds to answer.
It's an instant answer. There is a period of time for you to understand.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
I mean, some of these things are complicated.
I'm going to have a think about a question to ask, and I'm asking the audience, be fucking serious. Don't be coming in with what's the lotto numbers, or, you know, how do you make mountains or some shit like that stupid, right? Genuine question, okay? Because it is technically Richard's name.
Actually, there's an answer to how most mountains are made. Not uplift and crustal plate tectonics and collision, but the rest of them. There's an answer to that, which I did pray about, but that was some time ago, not right now.
Aye. Well, if you come back with an answer, something similar to the fucking movie, what do you call it? Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you know, where they're just like a scaffolding. And
That's not the answer.
that's where I was
That's
going
it.
with the facetiousness of the question. Don't be
Okay,
asking.
but something is really troubling me, and I don't do well when I'm preoccupied. Okay.
Did you hold on? I know that might be a genuine, real answer, and I don't want to pressurize you, but did
What?
you just give a caveat
Can I
to
finish
say?
the thought? Let me finish the thought. You don't understand yet. You made the presupposition that I have a very good and active imagination, which is useful in a lot of things, and a lot of people have that gift. I am notoriously bad. And I wasn't so much joking when I said, I'm practicing pareidolia. I am actually practicing pareidolia. I'm trying to understand it.
I'll not tell you my first thought.
I've never had that. And I was introduced to the idea a couple years ago, and I've been trying to use my imagination in the way of like visual pareidolia. I'm not kidding you.
Right, well, I'll be desperately honest with you, okay? When you said that, the first thought that came to my mind, because I'm an asshole, and even though it's you, I am aware that you're intelligent enough to, don't want to use the phrase manipulate people. I don't want to use the phrase.
Of course I could.
Right, I know, but manipulation comes with bad context, and I don't want to add that context to you.
No, everything is manipulation. Even loving relationships involve positive manipulation.
Okay, right. So we can use that word, and you understand what I mean without being negative.
Sure.
Right. Setting enough seeds. So say for talk's sake, Stephen's going to rob a bank. I'm a fan of my analogy. Stephen's robbing a bank. So Stephen tells everybody he's going to be at the cinema at this time, but secretly goes and robs the bank. And if anyone asks, they all know that Stephen was at the cinema because he told everyone. First sort of thought that came to my mind is you're deliberately pointing out that you're trying to do pareidolia and doing it badly, so that if someone asks you a question on representation along the lines of things that I've asked you before in reference to the sulfur and shit, setting up to be, look, I've said this for a year already. That's where my mind went the first time, because I think you're intelligent enough to do that.
I probably am intelligent enough to do that. And in the past, historically, I did things like that. I set up for future conversations all the time. I was a habitual liar.
I generally don't think that you're a liar.
Yep.
Talking to me. That was my instinctual first thought. But I also don't think you're stupid enough not to see things. Or not, stupid's a bad word. I don't think...
No, it's fine.
When I was younger, I had trouble. Do you know them pictures you stare at, and you see a picture if you stare and you let your eyes go blurry?
The what? Your mic got weird.
You have a picture and you look at it and you let your eyes go blurry and you see the seal ship.
Oh, where you look past it and then the way your eyes work cause a 3D image to appear?
I never could get them going. I could never work them until later in life. And I'm talking 17, 18. So I can understand from a point of how easy it is for everyone to see parabolia, or to do something and not be able to do it. But that in my mind required a physical reaction. That required a physical act of your eyes becoming blurry. And I've always wore glasses, so my glasses would have always tried to focus that even when I, tried to blur. So it was a physical reaction. But looking at a picture or an ink blot test or something like that and not seeing something, and just seeing an ink blot test, I don't think that your mind's limited like that.
Unfortunately for me, it has been. I literally don't see things in ink blot tests. I think that's the goofiest thing ever. Everything just looks like some kind of deformed butterfly to me.
That's the standard picture, and I understand that ink blot tests have been so, I wouldn't use the word ingrained, but there's been that many of them around in the culture. You see it for an ink blot rather than seeing it for what the ink blot's supposed to represent, because it's not an instant picture.
I don't think that I'm being dishonest in any way when I say, when I have looked in the past and throughout my life at ink blot tests, that they just look like cut up butterfly, but they all look like cut up butterfly to me. And I could never see faces in tree bark. I don't see ducks in clouds. I've never seen stuff like that. I've not talked about it to people who did, because it's embarrassing, because apparently everyone does this.
Well, to me and my understanding,
I'm kind of a misfit for that reason. It's like some kind of disability.
Well, my understanding of human nature and human evolution, I'm not going to go into it. You do believe in evolution, regardless of where it happened, right? The idea of human evolution is seeing patterns and the ability to figure things out. We are always on anywhere you look, or I'm not going to say papers you read and shit like this. We are pattern recognition animals.
I'll give you an example in real time. Like 2 days ago, I'm out on my employer's property. It's been raining here a lot, which is unusual. Weeds are just popping up like crazy. You got 2 and 3 foot tall, thick weeds you can't see through. Okay. Until the snake moved, I did not see the snake. So, you know, most people will see a stick and think it's a snake. I'll see a snake and think it's a stick.
Well, you're more used to seeing a stick than you would be a snake.
Okay, we'll give the opposite argument that everyone else gives.
Well, well, I don't know what argument everyone else gives, but what happened to the camera?
That we are so scared of snakes that we think sticks are snakes. No, I don't even have the imagination to think a stick is a snake. In fact, I don't have the imagination to see a snake is a snake.
Well, there is a specific hypothesis out there called the snake something hypothesis, where we have evolved together to see them. They've always been a predatory animal and shit like that. That's evolution from what I know when reading shit, right? So people's brains look at a stick and see a snake because it's an evolutionary reaction. It's better to see a snake and find out it's a stick than it is to think it's a stick.
See a snake and
right.
And
but
mistake it for a stick and it bites you.
Where your brain goes by, I'm not going to say I know what your brain goes by, but your brain is going by, seeing something, and I usually see sticks.
Sticks are not pink and don't have repeating patterns in them.
I have no idea where this conversation is going, but we're focusing on the fact that
unless the snake actually moves, my brain does not see a snake.
We are focusing on the fact, Christopher, of Richard practicing pareidolia, because he says he can't do pareidolia. It doesn't work. He doesn't see images. He sees clouds.
Well, you guys both saw, what'd you say, some kind of an insect in that cloud shadow? I said dragon because I can't see anything.
And I would say it did look more like an ant because it had a very faint antenna. I don't know.
Yeah, it was some kind of. I couldn't remember. You guys said ant, but
I got it, Geo.
I know it's the kind of thing where people can exercise pareidolia and see something in that kind of an image. Shadows of clouds is one of those things. But I can't see anything there. I just see a shadow of a cloud. And no, I wasn't planning on having this conversation.
No, none of this has been planned. I generally, Mowdy, didn't think Richard was coming in because he missed the email I sent him to confirm tonight. So I just said, fuck it, we'll do a holiday hangout, talk shite. I got some very high caffeinated stuff from across the border.
But I want to get back to the assumption that we made in our conversation earlier. The fact of the matter is, if I see something, in fact, I was challenged. I was doing a lot of drawings when I was like in 6th grade. I'm getting some echo through your mic, maybe because of the tone of my voice or whatever. But so I was doing some really, really accurate drawings. I was using National Geographic and just whatever pictures they had. I would draw some of those and I'd bring them to school, sometimes finish them at school and show my friends. My friends thought that I was doing like some kind of photostatic and then tracing is what they thought I was doing. So I said, no, that's not the case. Not what I'm doing. I'm drawing it out of these magazines. And he says, well, prove it. So I did this African male adult mature lion, right? But I made it half the size and I made it face the other way. So there's no way to trace it and make it face the other way. So that was my proof of it. But the fact of the matter is, I couldn't draw that line without looking at it if my life depended on it. I can imitate what I actually see. I can't imaginatively remember what I did see and repeat it.
I would be very similar to that point where I remember when I had a Beavis, or was it Butthead? I can't remember what it was, but it was either Beavis or Butthead, and I drew it an exact copy of a picture, bigger than what it was from a copy, and it looked the exact same. But if you ask me to draw something, I literally need a picture of it. My brain works in pictures. I remember better in pictures.
So I think that's a lack of like a memory or an imaginative process.
Night Dargendorp and night Brian Stevens, or is Brian staying and saying good night to Dargendorp? But anyway, night Dargendorp.
I have to thank Brian Stevens.
I was just about to say, guys, I'm really, really sorry. I'm like, I haven't been sleeping an awful lot recently, and I am starting to really fucking go to sleep. And as well, I am overheating, and I need to fucking cool the fuck down. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
MathPig, for having me on. Richard, pleasure as always, sharing your company. And so yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Stephen will be live tomorrow night at 11.
Yes, tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Same time as we went.
Yeah, he's
live
going
tonight.
to be just talking about how much he loves Alex Jones, how angry he is.
I
about...
do not love Alex Jones. I do not
Are
love
you
Alex
angry
Jones.
about
I love
him?
the fact that he's been asked to pay 45 million to a family. That I love, but I don't
Is it
love
just
the man.
one?
I think he's despicable. Yeah, just one. Just the one.
The one that they had to move twice, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. There was 19 children died in that massacre, by the way. So if if it's 45 million times 19, that man's gonna be bankrupt. Like, that's it. He's just done. He's done so. But anyway, that's all gonna be tomorrow night. So join me for that. Talk to you again.
I have to thank Brian Stevens for accidentally, greatly positively affecting my youngest sibling's life. And Brian Stevens may not even know what they did. Brian Stevens was on a show in the side chat commenting, and Oz of Tang was talking about life and troubles and was talking about Christian guilt. And Brian Stevens wrote something to the effect of, in order to be guilty, you have to have intent to have done the thing you knew was wrong. And that is when Beck realized that they did not purposefully wreck the car that killed our mother. And that is a huge, huge thing in Beck's life. So thank you for your unwitting, not on purpose comment, Brian Stevens. You greatly helped some person. A person I happen to love. But back to pareidolia imagination. And okay, so I never got to the actual assumption.
Well, it's not an
the
assumption.
actual. It is an assumption.
The point that I'm making.
The overall point, no, not the overall point. But within that, the assumption that I have a good imagination is just not true of me.
And imagine, right, being able to imagine things and transfer them to paper.
I am horrible.
Right. Yes, I would agree that you're horrible for your descriptions and things like that, and being able to see. I'm under the belief that you are, for whatever reason, not receiving men.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have to imagine that for some reason, whatever it is, your mind is creating them.
That would be the two options, yes.
Right? Now, I'm not trying to create a false dichotomy or anything like that. I'm just...
No, that's a true dichotomy. Either it's me or it's not me.
I know, but we had this conversation before and you took it as me saying you're fucking mad. I don't think you're fucking... I'm trying to be as... Right?
I don't remember that conversation. Let's just go on.
Right. So your brain has the ability... So from that, I would come under the assumption that you would have a good imagination. You are able to see things in your mind from wherever they come from. You're under the belief aliens. I'm under the belief...
I have an amazing memory of what I have experienced in the past.
Right. And as you said, there is a possibility of being able to ask them a question. Maudy's in the chat. I've sent Maudy the link. It would be very good if Maudy could join. Give me an excuse if you can, because I'm going to hold you guilty. Also, having a few drinks, so I'm only messing. I think Maudy would have a good question to ask. I can come up with something.
Does Maudy have a first name that we know?
Christopher Maudy.
Oh, yeah. Intelligent mind. I've heard them speak.
Right, let me think of a question. I did ask this earlier in the chat if the chat could come up with a question, so you have had time. So a serious question from the chat will... I don't want to test you and say let's come up with 10 and see if you get it.
I think this is a good time to talk about James Randi and the mistake of the psychics who participated in the test by James Randi, where he offered $1 million to anyone who could prove psychic ability.
I do remember that conversation now. I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Okay, it doesn't. The name James Randi doesn't matter. Randi, if you wanted to look it up. Okay, so for probably 20 years, he offered psychics to prove psychic ability. Everyone who ever came on, peace and respect, for everyone.
That was either a pout or that was either a pout or she was blowing you a kiss, Richard. I'm just making sure, you know.
Oh goodness. How you doing?
Oh, that connection is horrible.
Try with the icon up, Bree. We'll maybe get your audio, although we will lose your pretty face. Oh, you're moving better now.
Hold on.
No, you're good now. You're good now.
Yeah. I was just there was something loading is what the problem was. I had the stream loading.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost you again.
I will hopefully have a better place with a better signal soon. So let's see what the future holds. You got something in the works, so
I don't know if you were hearing we were talking about Richard.
Anyway,
All right,
what about Richard?
No, we were just. I sometimes if I interrupt Richard, he loses his trail of thought, and I want him to finish. Deserved saying hello to because you're so.
If you are hideously ugly, you still deserve being said hello to. Or you're a human being. Okay, James Randi, yeah. Okay, so I think that the assumption of the participants who tried the testing with James Randi made a grievous error. And in my experience, I am not psychic and like able to know things I don't know, but I'm having communication with another intelligent being and they know things I don't know. Now, experientially, it seems like it's coming from within me. The only thing is it knows things I don't know. So when I consider that communication is between two conscious beings, they have the right to refuse. They're an autonomous being as well. They can refuse to participate. And I've seen them refuse to participate, and I've seen them participate very actively.
Right. Well, I wasn't going
to... So I don't want to assume I'll get an answer to every question. That wouldn't necessarily be true.
Right. Well, that's what I was... Two things. What I was going to say at the start when you first mentioned this and I interrupted you and you then asked to explain it was, did you just give a caveat of a reason of why it won't work when we do it? Which...
No.
There is a possibility that they may not answer.
Well, just like if I ask you something, you may not answer.
But if it was to prove that I existed, I'd answer.
I'm not sure you'd want to prove that you existed if you were in that position.
If nobody in the... Oh, okay, I'll give you that. Right. The questions that I was going to ask wasn't going to be, what's the lotto numbers? What's happening in the future? This, that, or the other, and all the rest of it along them sort of lines.
Right.
I was trying to think of a question more along the mental state of mind, more along, not a prove you exist, but give me some sort of... Ian's firing like 50 caffeine coffees. I do apologize, yeah. Trying to think of a good...
I think you're dealing with it okay.
Right. Give me an example of something that possibly I have experienced that's taught.
That's a really interesting question.
That's only information that can be shared about me. That's only information that I am happy now as admitting forth. if anyone is listening, I am happy for information about me to be shared on stream. So anything that you would know in a roundabout, I'll even give you a fucking vague opening. You don't have to name a mountain if there's a mountain in the story.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't give anything.
No, I'm going to give it to you because I want to see where you go.
You've already set the parameters. You don't need to do anything further.
Mid mountain, because there's literally a mountain. I still have the what do you call it? I shared screen. Like, that's what I'm sitting looking at right this second. That's context. So it's something that happened in my life that, you know, taught me something.
I'm not getting anything at all. And that can mean a few different things. It could mean I really love you and I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure and I can't concentrate well. It could mean that. Okay. It could mean that they don't want to answer that. But I'm literally getting nothing, which means it's probably my problem. Because usually if I get, there's a different kind of nothing where I get that they're not wanting to answer. And I can't even seem to get that.
You know, instead of getting an engaged tone, you get a line dead tone.
Yeah, something like that. I guess you could say it that way.
Or that it's a line fault. Right.
Which means it's my problem. Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying I'm failing.
Oh, well, I know that you, like, I sort of knew that you would take the guilt on upon yourself. For the person you are. You know, you're not going to blame your God.
I don't think it's God.
Well, you know what I mean when I say that. You know, the person that's connecting with you,
Well,
I don't
what you
think,
said was that it is God. And I don't think
well,
it
I
is
obviously
God.
know that you don't think God is a physical person. You think God's a group of ideas. It's probably an old Jesus that you're talking to, or maybe a lowercase angel. I was just using God as a
Oh, okay.
for that person, you know.
Yeah.
Bree, have
With
you
that- with
always
that
had that giant spider up your arm?
As long as you've known me.
I have not seen that
Yeah.
enough. It is jumping out like mad at me tonight. It looks class, but I don't know.
Yeah, better angle.
I got
Yeah.
two of them. Actually, there's one on the inside too.
I like the
But it's
blue one.
sort of faded.
Is that a jumping spider?
Why did we
No,
never
it's,
use these as the symbol for your whenever you were critical, or not whenever, you know, when you were all about BrainBug. When you were BrainBugs, you were all about a bee, and I never thought we could have used that or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Are kind of my thing. I like all animals though, and I'll talk your ear off about them if you so. Scorpion-tailed locusts that fly at the end of time, or in Revelations. Me and Richard. Not like that.
I had that. I heard that conversation. You know about the.
Yeah.
Is Bree's voice coming through
Right.
broken robotic only for me?
No, it's coming through robotic for me as well, but I know Bree's voice and I know the conversation. Fill in
Sorted
the
out, yeah.
blanks. See, the caffeine's helping.
I'll turn my cam off.
Oh, that's loads better. Insane.
That'll
That.
probably help. Yeah.
I don't want to make you feel
I'm
bad,
not
But you don't.
I rang up today and cancelled one contract to swap it to my new phone. And the fuckers doubled my internet speed for £1 extra a month.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, which, because I've had the contract for 2 years and they were like, well, it's went down a wee bit in price and stuff. We can now give you 900 down and 120 up for £1 extra than what you're paying for half that. Okay. I was cancelling my contract anyway, so I'm still saving £18, you know, from cancelling. Up 19, I'm up 18.
I feel like I'm supposed to ask you to be more specific about what you'd like. Not just
Right.
something that you
Okay, so you want
something that you gained or learned something from.
All right, the first thing that came to my mind, and I don't know where from, was what, and I don't actually know the story of this myself off the top of my head. All right, so the first thing that I learnt, as you asked for, what I learnt, to give you an example of that, when did I learn to stop giving a shit what people thought? That's what came to my mind as soon as you said that, and I can't even answer that. I know examples of after it had happened, but I can't give you a moment when it happened. So if you could describe something that would ping a memory in my memory, that would definitely prove something.
I know it'll be if I hear something that doesn't make any damn sense to me. That's how I know it's not me mostly.
So if I tell you the answer, then you're right. You see, it's going the wrong way. If I tell you, you have to tell me.
No. You should never do that.
I don't know.
Right. You know, you remind me of the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, where he doesn't remember the dream. He just knows he had a dream, and he asks of Daniel to interpret a dream. He can't remember the dream either. It's funny. I don't know. I'm just going to let it sit. We'll see what happens.
Right. Do you want one more?
I've never asked multiple questions at once.
You're not getting any answers, and you said it takes. Your line's dead. We might as well keep trying to ring.
I don't know. I think I'm delaying it. I think I'm too nervous about it. I don't usually do this as a public spectacle. I usually do this as a one-on-one thing.
That's what I asked at the start. Is it a praying motion? Do you have a meditation state? Do you just be walking around driving the car?
And there's no practice. There's no set of things that I do. I just ask a question.
You're driving the car.
Yeah.
You're trying to get to work. And you ask whatever style or type of question that you would ask. Don't think you're going to ask what color the panties is in the girl. Ask a theological question or something.
Usually not.
Existential question, right? And you just continue to drive, and it happens. You get an answer. Just as normal as that.
Just normal as someone sitting in the seat beside you talking to you.
But you don't see a person, you just see a thing.
There is no person there.
Do you see the words, hear the words, or see a picture that you interpret?
In internal voice, I hear words.
You hear like so headphones, when you've headphones in, the actual sound, if you closed your eyes, is in the middle of your head. That sort of idea, it's coming from inside you. You hear a voice.
Sure. Yeah.
That speaks to you. It's not external. So you, no matter what direction you turn.
I've never went, where'd that come from? I've never,
no,
never
but what I mean
thought
is,
it was outside of my head.
Yes, but what I mean is you're driving a car. Okay? So as you're driving a car, unless you're a really shit driver, you're checking your mirrors, you're looking left, you're looking right. What I'm saying is, if you were having a conversation with someone and they were in the seat beside you, their voice would change relative to where you tilt your head. So what I'm asking you is, as you drive the car, does their voice change? Is it all the same?
As you drive the car. No, the voice doesn't change.
I say
because of what I'm doing. Of course you said Kiar. You always say Kiar.
I heard it repeated in fucking Breeze. Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. So it doesn't change?
No.
Do you remember the first time it happened and you noticed that it didn't change, or are you just telling me that you've never thought about it before?
I never thought about it at all. It was never part of my experience that it could change by what I'm doing.
Because you always felt that it was inside your head.
I know it's inside my head. Other people don't hear it.
Yeah, but you can have an external hallucination where you can hear someone in the back seat. No, what I'm saying is yours are always internal voices.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying internal in your mind, but
no, it's in my mind.
In your mind, sound-wise, as well as where the thoughts are.
Yeah, I don't think my ears have anything to do with it.
And it's words.
Yeah, it's actual words.
And it's in English.
Feelings attached to it, and then there's ideas attached to the feelings and the words that are
You
even
can-
outside
right.
of what's spoken.
So if that person said love the trees and wanted to express to you how they love the trees, you know, obviously the trees are there, so God's there. So you're a tree hugger, and they express to you how much they love trees. You not only know the meaning and the understanding because of is you feel this person's, we'll call it an entity, this entity's love for the tree. You actually feel that emotional connection.
Actually, they did that one time to force me to sing in public when I didn't want to. But it was about the love of people, not the love of trees.
Yes, so they have, now that's happened once where they share their emotional response to it. Generally, you just get words.
I mean, there is some emotion attached to it. They seem very personable. They're also very confident, like not just confident like cocky, but confident like true confidence.
Okay.
Like oh, here's a fact for you. That's just a fact. There you go.
Right. So obviously you are right. Okay, I'm trying to just imagine this. So it's voices. There's no physicalness. I'm looking down because I'm trying to think. So there's voices. There's no physicalness. You're hearing this. So obviously this person has mannerisms. Obviously this person doesn't sound like a robot or a cyborg and just talks like this. This person has mannerisms. They have. Would I go so far as saying that they have an accent?
I've never discerned any kind of an accent.
Would they speak to you in your dialect of English and use your mannerisms in the way that you
Not
speak?
exactly. They speak differently than I do. They speak differently than anyone I've met.
Right. In what way do they speak differently?
They sound like they speak like Paul writes.
Explain that more.
Paul from the Bible.
Oh, I know who Paul you're referring to. Or what Paul? Hi, John.
The assuredness, the confidence, the clarity, the matter-of-fact way of saying things.
If I looked up examples of narcissistic writing, would I find similar things?
I have no idea. You're saying yes, though.
No, I'm asking that because I've never looked up in that point under that subtext.
No,
I would just say that a narcissist.
Me,
I'm using the reference that a narcissistic person is confident, is controlling, is
sure.
You know,
Well, no, actually not. That's not true of narcissists.
But you get the point I'm making without us going into the details. If I said cult leader wrote these sort of things, I guarantee I could probably make a reference.
No.
Cult leader's wrong. Cult leader's wrong. I stick with my first reference. I'm trying to explain it and get it in the wrong.
That's all false confidence. It's not like that.
That would be
that all looks like a bunch of lies to me now. Now, my whole life, it all seemed very plausible, persuasive.
So you would say that the person who's the entity that is communicating with you is confident, where a cult leader would have what we would refer to as bravado.
Bravado is a good word. It's definitely in the right neighborhood, but I think bravado is not perfect. How about they present themselves as confident, but the confidence is actually tainted by their lack of self-love and their lack of confidence, and that's evident to me now, although it wouldn't have been prior to 2012.
That about me?
Not usually,
no.
But sometimes yes.
Well, yeah, well, that put confidence first. You've something to say, Bree? Sorry, you're unmuted.
It's not something you're in the habit of doing. By the way, I don't think that's dishonesty. I think it's self-protection. So I don't think it's less.
We're not talking about how crazy I am. We're talking about how crazy you are. Back to you.
Right. Sorry. Okay.
So I'm trying to discern from this person, right? You can definitely say they have mannerisms. They may not have an accent that you can discern from, right? That's a lack of you knowing all the countries. They have an accent. They sound like someone you've never heard of before. They definitely have a personality. They definitely speak with confidence. So you would agree that this is a living being with a personality who is not a cyborg robot chip in your head thing.
I think they have a sense of humor, but they don't exercise it because there's too many serious things to talk about. And the questions that I ask are usually like in the moment serious things. I mean, I'm not making jokes either.
No, I understand that. Why, they're not going to answer the lotto numbers, but they'll answer, you're standing on a cliff edge, should I walk forward? Serious questions.
Okay, so I've spent a lot of time thinking about why is there sometimes answers that are true in reality. Sometimes I'm told I'm not going to answer that. I'm just not going to. And I've spent a lot of time like contemplating why that would be. And I think the Christian mistake there in understanding of their Bible is that they think we're supposed to have a good time here. And they think we're not supposed to suffer here. And they think that God would fix the plan of suffering when suffering is the plan. And none of that makes any sense to me. That it wouldn't logically follow if you set up an ant farm, and I'm not saying that we're ants to God, but just for a very simple example. If you set up an ant farm where they had to work for their food, you wouldn't negate your system.
Pardon, say that again?
Okay, unless you had problems making a decision or there was something wrong with your decision, right? You wouldn't correct it.
Or you were a sadist. You could set up a perfect system and then deplete it of. You could set that system up and then say, "Hey, what happens if I fill the ant farm water?" Or you could say, "I'm going to find out what happens if I throw this into my barbecue grill."
Sure.
There are things that you could spend years and years taking care of that ant farm, and then something snap in your brain and say, "Hey."
I think I've actually seen someone did a cartoon film to that effect, where they were representing God that way, and the Christian view of God does describe it that way. I agree. I don't think the Bible does, but I think the Christian view of the Bible does. I think that that again would be the plan needs corrected, and the plan wasn't perfect in the opinion of the planner in the first place. So, like when Christians pray for, I don't know, someone to be cured of cancer, well, they want the plan to change. Why the hell would anyone change the plan?
That defeats the purpose of prayer. Sammy,
that depends on what you mean by prayer.
Sorry, yeah, I know. I'm being meme answering. I'm answering with memes. Sammy, check your Discord. I'm not on Facebook here, so check your Discord, Sammy.
But I was gonna mention, are you taking like a Calvinist position on that?
Lost you completely there, man.
I'm trying, but I'm not getting much.
You might be better joining on your phone, Bree, and using your data rather than the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I'm getting parts of sentences.
We are getting very little. I do hate to be an asshole, but I do want
to. I'm convinced you're brilliant, but the connection is crap.
I know for a fact. I'm that confident.
I can only talk about what I'm persuaded to believe. I can't talk about what is. I don't know what is. I only know what I'm persuaded to believe.
Right, 420. Link's been sent.
So I don't understand what Christians mean by prayer or what they expect of prayer. Now, if I say prayer, I think prayer comes in slightly different forms. There's praise and worship, right?
How would you perform praise and worship?
Thanks, that was really helpful.
Just say thanks. You physically say thanks. You're under.
I don't say it aloud. There's no need to say it aloud.
Yes,
my mouth has nothing to do with it.
Your mouth has nothing to do with it. But when you say thanks, do they come back with Donata?
pretty much.
Every time you eat food, if you had food and say thanks, in your mind you would hear de nada. As I'm using,
Yeah, it's like
I'm
like
using a
that, that's
Spanish
no big
thank
deal.
you. I'm just using that as, any, you'd hear something back.
Or in Italian, por nada. You thank me for nothing.
Yeah.
Something. It's very casual. Yeah, it's not like, oh, I am the booming voice in the sky, and it's about time you thanked me. I've never experienced anything.
That's
like
what I'm trying to discern. It is a personality. It's someone that would see you on their level, or treat you as if you are on their level.
I often imitate their answers, which is like really outside of my personality range, but you've heard me do this probably a million times, where someone will thank me for something, and I've kind of started picking up what they do because I think it's better than what I was doing. I don't say it's nothing. I don't say that doesn't matter, or because all of that can feel like you're downplaying the other person's experience. But instead, what I've learned to adopt is the following: I care for you. I did that because I care for you. That's why I did that.
So when you use the response when I say to you, how are you, Richard, and you say better than I deserve, did they say that to you?
No, that was my own realization. I feel, I mean, because I've been a real crap human being most of my life, and I feel that I don't deserve it as good as I have it, and I'm starting to get a little misty about it, actually. And I recognize how good my life is, and I don't mean like maybe it's good. It's kind of ridiculous, and I know I literally didn't earn it. So, yeah. But it's the information that they've given me that I've applied to real life that really changed everything and works in reality. Whereas everything I always tried just made life worse and worse and worse and worse.
Right. And I'm sure... right.
Like the more polite I tried to be toward people, the more they assumed I was being haughty and snobbish. And I don't know why that's true, but it's been profoundly true my whole life.
I've talked to...
Mm-hmm.
What? I thought they were having good days and bad days and happy days, and different personalities come sometimes from the same personality under better situations.
Mm-hmm.
But when they told me, you could then notice the difference. When it's been made aware to you, and there was a confident personality, strong personality,
Mm-hmm.
weaker sort of personality, and that's that particular thing. But it's the same in Fight Club. I am what you are afraid to be. If you've ever seen Fight Club.
I have seen the movie. I understand the concept that you just portrayed there.
Exactly, right? So would you be open to the possibility, again, no discernment on where it comes from, but would you agree that there is a possibility that there could be not an alien god that's communicating with you, but a stronger personality that in a situation can think more logical than you? When you look at a situation, you went, right, I want to do this, and your subconscious personality has looked at it, knowing how intelligent you are, and figured it out in a logical sort of, this is the best way, situationally, multiple points of view, and taken this in and then spoke these to you.
Of course, that's logically plausible.
Is that testable?
There's some, yeah, it's absolutely testable. There are some intrinsic problems with it that can't be the case. Okay. And some of that is deductive and some of it's inductive. So inductively, the chances that I am like the most intelligent, the most inventive, the most imaginative, the most free thinking person who's ever encountered these stories just that in itself is extremely unlikely to be the case.
Of course, because you're making it an extreme. But the possibility of a person who sees these things.
No, I'm not making it extreme. And here's why I think I'm not making it extreme. Because what I've adopted works against reality. It bends, doesn't even bend any physics at all. It doesn't it doesn't require any magical thinking, and it justifies every religion on the planet. Now that's extreme.
Justifies every religion under the planet to your standards.
I think to any reasonable logical standard, it justifies them.
Any region? No, I don't think so. Because if you put that forward to any fundamentalist in any religion, they would disagree.
Oh, no, that's not the question. That's not the question. The question is not what do religious people think. The question is there a reasonable way to say that all these religions are telling the same stories?
Okay, well, I'll reword that.
I'll
reword what you're saying then. I retract my previous statement and I'll try. Is there a way that I can ask questions that the answers have relative similar answers to all the religions that have ever existed? Yes. A very simple example, and to bland the shit out of it, is where does your God exist? They're all going to say up. You know, that's one that you'll find in most religions across the world. And that's a really bog standard, but you're more complex. But you get the analogy that I'm making. What I'm saying is you can't take the standard that you've set and give it to 420 and he would agree with that standard. The standard that you're setting is set by you. So yes, under the
Sammy,
quest.
I hope your connection gets better.
Oh, Sammy. Just walk across the fucking road, man, and get into the office. Walk across the road and go into the office. What I'm saying is, you said to me, I can logically prove from this, that, and the other, and discern from this, that, and the other, and all the religions, and I can prove it. Of course, you can prove it to your standard of this religion that you've come up with in your mind because you've thought about it for so many years and this, that, and the other. Sorry for the disregard in the way I said that. But you're setting the standard.
Well, what's a reasonable standard?
You tell me because you're the one that said it.
Okay, what I think is a reasonable standard is something that corresponds to reality, that doesn't bend, break physics, something that's coherent within itself, something that's logically at least plausible, and hopefully logically possible within physics and reality as we know it. And I think if something doesn't at least meet those standards of believability, of quote unquote truth,
okay,
then it should be dismissed.
What you're giving me, instead of a direct connection between, you're giving me as a standard for each story. So I'm going to rephrase it again and say, if I can twist and turn and show through word manipulation and my thoughts in a logical way that means the same as that, even though they're both written in something, my interpretation of this is the same as the interpretation of that.
That's fine. That meets plausibility.
Okay, back again. We're at your standard. Only your standard.
Well, what standard do you use to believe something?
Something that, well, if I wanted someone to say, is that star 20,000 mile away? My standard is 20,000 mile. My standard is something that is, objective that someone else can change. What you're using is your interpretation.
Please use an example of an immaterial thing like information, not a physical thing like a star.
If I said
for instance,
you, okay, information.
Tell me how you prove someone loves you, for instance.
I could prove to you that someone loves me, right? By what
you can demonstrate it.
I can demonstrate it. Thank you. That's a perfect word. I'm very highly caffeinated, 420. I don't know if you know, but the stuff that I drink down south is twice the caffeine content. That's what I've been drinking tonight. I'm very buzzed. I am starting to see sounds. And I've lost my point. Yeah, it's your interpretation though, Richard, right?
Demonstrate. The word was demonstrate.
Yes. The word that he uses, demonstrate. You can demonstrate 20 miles. I can demonstrate that someone loves me. You know, the fact that I was a little bit rude to Emma and, you know, she'll still be here in the morning. You know, I can demonstrate that my mother loves me because she kicked me out instead of killing me. You know, these are things that you can use to show that. But your interpretation of this, I could disagree with. You could say to me, this is, and we have, you've went, it's obvious. And I'm like, no, it's not really obvious. It's obvious to you. You know, so when you say this clearly means spaceship, I could give you another example. We spent 4 years doing this. You know,
okay, you might be able to come up with some other example of a thing that fits the description of heaven that's not a spaceship. Okay? But I think you're going to have to leave parts of the description out in order to do that.
Nope.
I don't know how you do that with all the description.
Well, then you need to check your memory, because in at least 3 episodes, I have disagreed with your interpretation under a similar belief of you. I don't believe it's a fucking meteorite. I believe volcano. You know, I don't believe this. I believe that. Do you remember the religion that's against your religion?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So, yeah, I can disagree with you under your
but
belief.
You have to leave parts out.
I didn't leave any parts out. Me and you both read it.
Yeah, you did. I just didn't object.
Oh, you can't do it. 420, step in and be a moderate,
now
man.
We're down to the nuts and bolts and brass tacks of it.
Moderate here. We both agreed that.
Well,
I didn't think it was important to the conversation to object at the time.
Can I maybe suggest? I have a question that I think it's not off topic, but I think it'll sort of maybe push you into answering a little bit more precisely what I think MathPig's getting at.
Thank you, 420.
I have this question where, according to if I do an internal critique of your view, everything says that the story was designed for and meant to be understood by one person. And as far as I can tell, that is Richard Madsen.
Sorry, rewind
by
that.
your definition, by your story, means you are the Christ.
Yeah, I could certainly see looking at that way, but in no way do I think I'm the Christ. I think,
of course, which the Christ wouldn't, but
I think the Christ would have.
But doesn't it mean then that you are sort of an addition to the Christ? The Christ, it's all meant for the Christ, but Richard just managed to figure it out.
That just lends toward. Okay, I do not think that I am John the Baptist. Okay, I'm not under that impression.
When the aliens arrive and I say I know Richard Madsen, just got a hell of a lot more powerful. All right, I'm just saying, I'm going straight to the top.
I look at this as there's a line from within, especially the Christian story, but other stories as well. But you probably know the Christian text best. That young men will dream dreams and old men will have visions. I think I'm one of those old men. Do I know some things? Could they be? Let's say they are knowledge. Let's just assume for right now that they are knowledge, that they're true in reality. Do I know some things? Yes, I know some things. Okay. Do I know everything? I obviously don't know everything. Okay. So I don't think that I'm the hero of my story.
So to clarify then, to try and steelman your position, the story is meant for one, but may actually be understood by many.
When the time is
Right.
There's only 20 years left, remember. We are very close to the end times under Richard's belief system. Within 20 years, I think, is what you said, Richard.
If what I'm saying is true, I'm evidence to that being true.
Right, so you're not the Christ, you're evidence of the Christ.
I believe so, yeah.
Now, I know that you have met, under your belief system, you do believe that you have met someone. I give you facial recognition software, not facial recognition software, pickup software. Go for it, Richard. You have it saved.
I do.
Can you share
I'm
screen?
about to bring it up.
Yeah, you can share.
I
screen.
will.
What I'll do is I'll pop you out of the big one and put you on this.
So I got him up on my screen. And let me share.
I've
do
seen
you
this
do?
picture, and
Have
if any,
share
if any,
screen. Window.
oh,
Chrome tab. Here we go.
Bree, you're just in time to see a picture of the Antichrist.
Well, an artist's conception.
An artist's conception, as best as Richard can do, using software online that I give him.
I hope it looks like Robbie.
I hope it's Trump. It's Trump. A bald Trump.
It's bald Trump. This
Oh,
is the man I
Jan.
met that literally told me the scariest story I've ever heard in my life. I've never been
May
more
we
freaked
know
out.
the story?
I'd be happy to tell you the story of his life that changed him.
I personally think it looks a little bit like Dark Matter 2525, but that's maybe a subjective thing.
Sort of. If you can't tell from these, he's between 6'1" and 6'2", and goes about 205 pounds. He's in good physical condition. Now the biggest picture on the left is the one that is most accurate to when I met this man. Okay, the others are variations of lighting, variations of beard and glasses, and getting older. More aged, etc., more tanned.
But the one
Some
on the
variations.
left is the one that you would say is the closest to what you've seen him as.
Yeah. Although they made his upper lip too light in color, his upper lip isn't light like that. It pretty much matches the rest of his face. I don't know why when you make that face, the upper lip comes out pale. I don't know why.
For some reason, and this could just be my personal bias, but I always envisioned that the Antichrist would be like almost close to a perfect looking human. So
That's the Nazi
not
in
that wrinkly old, not the wrinkly old dude you just showed me.
He's a
You know,
handsome
like,
enough guy. I think.
In the Bible,
normal
Satan's
looking.
like the most attractive of
before,
all the angels.
if I can, just before we go mad off stream, right, or mad off topic, have you a picture of what you consider or have been given of the Christ from this earth?
Sure.
Have you made
actually,
one of them?
yeah,
up?
there's a. I don't draw that.
You have facial recognition software. You can do one about the Antichrist.
That looked
Yeah,
like
that'd be
Bruce
about the
Willis
same thing as
and
drawing it.
Hold
What's that,
on.
Bree?
I said it looked like Bruce Willis and Clint Eastwood kind of mushed together.
Sort of does.
Yeah.
So the fact
Yeah.
that the person has communicated to you in only words, and we did discuss earlier, and I do agree with you, the fact that a description rather than a picture, you can't describe the Christ in that software because they've described the person to you in words, or you don't know.
I consider it a disrespect.
Disrespect to draw the picture of Jesus.
To show his image.
Yeah, because he's supposed to stay secret.
Not from you,
He's supposed to stay secret
Yeah.
from you,
but why not
at
you?
least.
So
Why?
you can know, but we can't. That's a bit.
That's
How you going?
What kind
I'm
of problem?
sorry.
Come on, you're supposed to spread the message to the people.
So it's got
Um,
to stay a secret unless you
Okay.
get directly.
Richard, do you
told
think we're
by
going to
them
spend the
through
rest of our
prayer.
lives hunting
Come
this
on.
man down? Do you think we're going to go looking for him? Do you think after this
If I
stream,
was told to share it, I would.
they specifically told you not to?
Yes, I know
That's
to
where you
not.
lose me.
I'm sorry, Sammy.
That's okay. Because it just seems arbitrary
this.
and redundant.
I know that's
Oh,
not
it
very
must be a
pleasing.
secret. You can talk about it all day, every day online, but
Yeah.
don't tell
Here's
them what I
why.
look like.
Here's why.
That's
Yeah. Despite what the Christians say about the Bible has Jesus appearing as a thief in the night and coming with clouds in the glory of God. Okay, that's because it's two
that
separate.
only needs to
individuals.
mean we don't know the time. That's all that means. It doesn't mean you don't know what the guy's going to
I
look
think
like.
what Richard's trying to put forth is he's doing bad things at the minute. If he blows his cover, he's going to get caught by the cops.
That's not what I mean.
I'm
Um,
being facetious.
Which just means that doesn't show a very benevolent society to me. It's like such an arbitrary thing. Oh, you mustn't know what Christ looks like. For
Why is that
what
arbitrary
reason? Because it's
necessarily?
written? Well, can you
I don't
tell me
think it's-
why it's so important that we can't know what Jesus looks
Okay,
like?
hold on. No. Let me check. If I remember, someone double check with me. Go and check number file. You can prove there's a way of proving the truth of a priest. There's a way of proving a thing without knowing the thing. I think the question that we're really looking for here is, does the Christ look like Richard? In the description that you have been given, Richard, does the Christ in any way represent how you physically look now or without the beard? Yes
you
or
mean
no?
like having 2 nostrils, a nose, 2 eyeballs? Yes, definitely.
So that's a yes.
Yes. All humans look.
Richard, you
Somewhat
know
similar.
exactly what the question I'm asking, and you were trying to avoid it. It's a yes or no question. Do you look?
Depends on how you mean it.
Do you look like the Christ that you expect to come within the next 20 years? Whether by choice, even though you can make an effort to look like them, still believing you're not, but do you, right now, in any way, shape, or form, like that's a bit too much, sorry, I'll bring that back, ignore that. Do you represent the Christ? Is the Christ of your age with a beard your length and glasses? Does the Christ look like you? It's a simple question. Yes or no? We don't need to know what the Christ looks like.
So not
By
just
that
human,
description,
but
I
does it
think
actually
yes.
look like you?
By that description,
Close
I
to
think
Richard.
yes.
We could mistake you, basically.
Oh.
Because we're at a distance.
Mistake me? That's
For
different.
each other. That's what we're asking. Like, does he look that similar to Richard Madsen, not similar to human?
I don't look like Brie. I do look a little bit like cider and port because we're both bald and bearded. You know, you get what I'm trying to say, and the fact that you're avoiding the question is showing the fact to me that the answer
No,
is.
this is a real serious topic. And I'm not avoiding the question. I'm trying to be precise.
I just want to. Right, well, the answer is yes or no. And you know exactly what I'm trying to say.
I think Sammy did a better job. Like, could you mistake the 2 people one for the other?
Sammy always does a better job, and I'm fucking wild high in caffeine here. Like.
Okay.
Does Christ wear glasses?
I don't know if any Christ wore glasses.
War. That's after
Yeah,
they
well,
got.
they wouldn't by this point because they're now being put into a state of perfection.
Perfection. They wouldn't.
Why
need 'em
would they
anymore.
need? Yeah.
That's true.
But do they have a big red grey beard?
I dye my beard red out of respect for them because I'm convinced they do have a red beard. Now, I have a
We're
gray
getting
beard.
somewhere. Now we're getting.
Well, I already
specific.
knew that, but I never made the connection. Now, you can make a statement, I dye my beard red because I believe that Christ has a red beard, but I have a red
Do you
beard.
guys-
Mine looks nothing like Richard's, you know?
Do you guys remember that game Guess Who? That's what we're playing right here. Except for
Yes,
Christ.
I've got that game. It is. It's a game, Richard, where you have a whole range of
Well, the
little faces
reason-
in front of you,
the
and you
re-
say, "Does Jesus have a beard?" And the person says, "No," and you knock down all the people with beards until.
Oh, I've seen
The
it.
reason that,
Commercial for that.
but you see, the reason that we're playing Guess Who is because Richard fucking refuses to play Pictionary. All right, if he just played Pictionary and drew a picture of it instead, it would be far better. But that's blasphemy, so we have to play
Or
Guess
even
Who.
found somebody who said he looks like this guy.
Hello, Wesley.
I think there's obvious similarities between the same ethnic group. Okay.
Oh, white
From
Jesus.
what I can tell from what's that?
White Jesus.
Well, yeah, they call him white several times. Okay, you could say that's racist. Fine. Okay. You could say it doesn't make sense to
Isn't
the
it-
time frame and the place. Well, I don't think the time
Isn't
frame.
it
and the place
usually in reference to like cleanliness and holiness, though, as opposed to an actual?
I don't
skin
think-
color?
Well, there
I
is the
think it means
pictures of white
literally
Jesus.
white.
I was making a joke
In
about
fact,
the pictures
in
of white
Islam,
Jesus.
they describe a person that Islamic people thinks is Islamic, and then says his skin, and this is a direct quote. Well, it's not a word for word quote, but all the idea is there. The most popular description of Muhammad is that he has skin that is wheat colored, like dried wheat, not green. Wheat colored with a tinge of pink. Dude, that's a white guy. That's not an Arabic dude.
Can I ask a direct question, and you will
Of course.
answer yes or no? And I'm not going to be an asshole.
Okay.
I'm not going to... A question which you have the ability to understand, and I'm not great at saying things to read between them. Know from hanging around with me what I'm going.
You're pretty direct.
Oh, you ruined my trail of thought. You interrupted me. But what I'm asking is I was doing. Would I be correct in stating that under your belief system, the person who you would believe to be Christ, the job, the person who is taking that position, who is going to lead us in that particular time during when the aliens come, that particular person would have a very similar look, age, ethnicity to yourself, and not that you are twins, but whether you try to imitate whether this person looks like it or whether you were just born this way, you are a representation close to what the Christ looks like for this earth.
Yes.
Thank you. Is that what you were trying to say? Oh, Sammy's gone. He's on a call.
How do you know he's on a call?
Written in the private chat. Phone call. Be right back.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good indicator.
I am not on a call. I'm just listening to you two go back and forth.
This is what a Tuesday night
Guess
is.
who about Jesus?
Yeah, this is what
Do I think that's significant or important that I look like what, at least in some basic way, what Christ of this earth, or my perception of what Christ of this earth will look like? I don't know that that's even important.
Right. Now, I will 100% believe you for two reasons. Have we got Marty? No, Marty's in the chat again. Light it up. I don't know what light it up fuzzball means. Is that a reference to this or his beard? Like Richard's beard.
Sorry, I'm back.
Did you?
No, he hasn't really answered. Like,
Oh no, he did.
my
He did.
question-
He did.
Oh,
answer.
he did. Yeah, I was listening, even though.
Did you hear my long ass 4-sentence
What
long
did I
question?
misunderstand?
About my question is, I still haven't, other than that you were just told this is how it's gonna be. I haven't wrapped my head around why it's so important that it's a big secret.
Oh, you're right. I
What-
didn't answer
what-
that.
What
Answer
does that, like, why does it need to be that way? Especially when he wants to pull up and people go with him, but he'd prefer us not be prepared for it.
Can I give?
No, it's not about his lack or thorough preparation, sir.
Can I say something just before you
Sure,
answer
show.
that? Sammy, good connection. You can hear me, yeah.
Yep, sure can.
The fact that Richard has never brought this up before would be that he is intelligent enough to know that if he made a statement going, I look like Jesus, which is what in a roundabout way he has said, he will not draw the picture, because if he drew the picture, it may look too damn close to him under his interpretation. So the fact that Richard has, I wouldn't say concealed, because that's bad. The fact that Richard has never brought this up before is because we've never asked it, okay? But Richard has always known this. Richard has not shared this information with us because we're assholes. If you tell me you look like Jesus, I'm going to start calling you Jesus. You know.
Well, so you're saying you're assuming the reasoning is just because we don't deserve.
The reason that Richard has not shared what Jesus looks like because Jesus looks like him and he knows how we would react to that.
Which is what I. So, in other words, we've been deemed not worthy.
No,
No,
I'm
we
just.
will
not-
react.
not deemed-
Let's give Richard the
that's not the
benefit of the
same
doubt.
thing.
Let me ask one question here, because we're all very different looking people on this in this group here. Who on this panel does Jesus look the most like?
Oh no! Like 2 minutes ago, Richard agreed that he would be a representation of what the Christ looks like.
Okay, so the Jesus for this earth for this time around, as far as I can tell from the text, has red hair, which is why the Jews are looking for the red heifer. That
It's actually
he's-
pork.
That's a white meat. Ask the pork.
Is he
council.
always male?
Well, it has to be male because of sexism on the earth. Although women are emotionally mature enough to accept truths from a male, not all males are emotionally mature enough to accept truths from a female.
I think we'd actually
So
had this
it
question
needs to be
before.
male.
Could it be a trans man though?
What's that?
Could it be a trans man?
That's entirely possible. It wouldn't preclude that.
I do believe I've had this
Um,
conversation with Richard, and he is under the knowledge that he cannot say that any of the Jesuses before were female. He does not know.
If it's a trans man, that trans man passes easily. Okay,
Passes
it has to be
the bar.
really not a maybe.
Now we've got two
It
briefs.
can't be a maybe.
The wasps. We're having a swarm. Okay, one of you's talk.
I think we're both on here though.
But one of you's talked. Then I can see the bar, so I've kicked the other one.
So Robbie interjecting sort of took it off the topic a bit, but yeah. So I still can't understand that. Oh, you did have to do that. You drew it. The
Why it has to
reasoning.
be a secret?
Why it has to be a secret?
Right.
What's the
Okay.
reasoning behind it?
Here's what I think about that. I think it needs to be a surprise because surprises have better impact on an emotional level for people experiencing the surprise. And I think that's really important to the effect of the death and resurrection.
And I really don't like that because that is
If you're talking, Robbie, you are muted right now.
good. Because at least you got.
So
I do.
it's for the emotional effect.
Yeah, I think, okay, well, you already understand this about, but I'll reiterate. In the second half of end times, those who are still refusing heaven will be the most stubborn folks you can imagine. And probably 80-90% upon the approach of the death and resurrection have already ascended. Okay? So you've got the like the toughest customers available. Now you're pretending to talk while being muted so that you don't. That's funny. Okay, so what we're talking about here is extremist, way at the other end of the scale of atheism. Okay. You probably don't even know somebody like that. You probably haven't met someone that extreme who can actually stay with it. So that's the people it's talking about, as far as I can understand from the text.
Hey, River was
But
that.
it's kind of counterintuitive. Oh, you're muted, Robbie. I didn't know.
He's
you
just playing. He's not trying to say anything.
were-
No, I was going to say
Um,
my river was better than that one. I've bigger rocks, but then I was muted. But I have a lot to say in this. But
what was your last sentence again, Richard?
A very small percentage of extremists.
Oh, yes. See, that's counterintuitive to me. To me, it makes more sense to give those time those people time, to absorb, and like people come around to things like a frog in a pot. Put them in, turn it up slowly. They don't even know what's happening. You throw the frog in, they're going to jump the fuck out. So these extremists, when these aliens pull up, it's just going to prove to them, shit, Satan's here. look, they're trying to twist my mind into thinking they're legitimate. Like,
Does
yeah,
Does
I don't know.
JW
Maybe this
Church
is the logic
teach-
I don't see. But
does Jehovah's Witness, and I really don't know. I'm just trying to understand your mindset, and there's something in your question or comment, however you want to say that, that indicates a certain mindset, and I'm trying to figure out what that meant. Do the JWs teach pre, mid, or post-tribulation rapture?
so it changed. It has changed and changes.
Okay.
So they've
what were they-
kind of
what were they
now,
teaching when you
it's
were active?
really diluted now, and because they have the Great Tribulation,
Mhm.
then they have the 1,000-year period, and then they have another Armageddon.
I'd like to know how their God is so powerless they lost control after just fixing this. But anyway.
Yes, well, after already wiping the race out once to start again.
Right.
Mind.
You know what I believe it's actually describing there is multiple earths, and it says it twice, and there's no need to say it a third time. That end times happens, then Jesus reigns, and then to say end times happens and Jesus reigns. You already said the story twice. Saying it a third time won't help. Okay.
Yeah.
So in your inquiry was the idea of a pre-trib rapture, and then that all that is left is the wrong kind of people, whatever the hell they think that means. But what I actually see this text describing, and yes, this is going to demand a lot of you, and I apologize, is that everybody's there when it starts, right? And then you have 3.5 years of the announcing miracles, and that would be the volcano, the crashing of a meteor into an ocean and poisons that ocean, then the ignition of Jupiter, then the wormwood or the impact of a chunk of Io, the sulfur thing, and then the smiting of the thirds, that is too much daylight in too many different damn directions. And we lost Sammy. Which means I should.
I'm just checking in on my wolf spiders around the house here, so we all get to participate in that.
See, now when other people say wolf spiders, I go maybe. But if you say wolf spiders, I think they're wolf spiders. You're back, Sammy.
I caught most of that. Yeah, I fucking believe.
I stopped.
I
stopped speaking in the
Oh,
middle of a
that's
sentence for you. So I saw your icon disappear. Okay, so
yeah.
So what
Which,
I think is
like-
actually going on there is 3.5 years of announcing miracles in a given order. Then the arrival of heaven. No one has ascended till at least the arrival of heaven. And then it talks about the resurrection, meaning like the important one. And then the text also talks about the first and second resurrection. Now, first and second resurrection have nothing to do with Jesus dying and being raised from the dead. The resurrection refers to Jesus and Jesus alone. Whereas the people are split into two groups, those who do it right away and those who trickle slowly. Okay? Which makes sense to me in human nature. Because some people want to be abducted by aliens. And they would just accept, and just that'd be it. That'd be the end of it. They're good. They're totally already good. But some people are traditional Catholics and think that heaven has to be on some other plane of existence. Well, that person's going to take some convincing. So, of course, they'd reject it at first. But then you have another approximately, not exactly, 3 years, not 3.5, because we just lost several months right there. You have approximately 3 more years of persuasion. That is, quote unquote, plagues. And as the plagues happen, life gets harder and harder and harder to the point that those who refuse to accept what is obvious in their face are now eating their own children. It gets that bad. Okay. So by the time the murder and resurrection, which is necessary, is happening, you're talking about a very small percentage, the last of the second resurrection, the last of the people that can convinced that these things are true, but they've had 7 years approximately of experience of this. Now, I believe Matt Dillahunty when he says God could write my name in the clouds. I won't believe that's God. I'll believe I'm losing my mind. I believe him when he said that for the first 30 seconds. But on the 5th day, when a random infant who has only been speaking for 3 years hears his name and goes, wait a minute, isn't your name the same name that my daddy said is written in the sky right there? He's going to start to believe it because of outside confirmation. So yeah, 3 seconds, 3 minutes, I'll believe Matt Dillahunty. 7 years, you're a liar. There's no way you'd be able to deny something like that for 7 years.
I think the fundamentalists that you're talking
So
about.
that kind of extremists. You're muted right now, Sammy, if you're speaking.
You're not talking to yourself, Sandy. I just seen you and changed the entire setup so you can see the names. Oh yeah, new bot command. Type in. Oh fuck! I've lost the private chat. So new command for the bot. Apostrophe or not? Yeah. Explanation mark. Hairdo gives you Wild Hearts link. Ace Ventura wannabe. Like a glove. Although I wouldn't put fucking Wild Heart behind the steering wheel of a car.
Cheers, MathPig. Thanks for that.
You're alright, man. Holy fuck! Wild Heart joined the stream and it all went quiet. That usually doesn't happen. Check this out.
If you type in hairdo, is that the key? Exclamation hairdo?
Yep.
Okay.
Wild Heart actually loves
I think Sam is probably
Americans.
tending to a child
Wild
or
Heart
something.
spends most of his time speaking to Americans. Wild Heart hates American politics. And it's not that he hates American politics, he hates people talking about it because he's too lazy to look it up and give a shit.
That's all.
I wouldn't care either. In fact, I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't care about U.S. politics. I agree with you. It all looks like a game show to me. It's all just made up. Anyway.
Yeah, FBI raid and all that.
We actually put game show hosted office here, so yeah, this is game show.
It's that direct, yeah, and movie stars.
Oh, 'cause no one's asking you to go. I'm just clarifying. Wildheart doesn't hate Americans. Most of his closest friends are Americans. He's just too lazy to look up American politics, so he fucking goes mad when it's on because the show's not about him because he's a bit of a drunk and likes it all about him.
Who doesn't?
I'm shushing. Yeah.
Oh no, you're fine, Wildheart. I wouldn't have sent you a link and made a command and specifically asked you to do your hair like that if I didn't want to. No. Oh, you haven't heard. You may not have heard. Richard looks like Jesus.
Cool.
As far as I can tell from the text, and I do things to alter my appearance to look more like him, actually, out of a respect and honor thing.
You are looking rather ruddy. Is that what that means?
You mean red?
Ruddy?
Yeah.
Well, one of them is David is described as being ruddy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
David's
means a reddish
also
brown
described
color.
as being like one of the most awful people of his time, right?
According to Christians, yeah. The way they read it, I agree.
You can stop sharing stream now, Richard. If I kick it, I'll kick you. So just hit stop sharing.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Wildheart. How are you?
All right. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
I tagged you in something the other day about Jill. Did you get it?
I didn't know. I'll have
Yeah.
to look that up.
It was
So,
on.
wow. You have a tooth bothering you, brother?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
The right side of your face. I think you're kind of holding it funny or moving it funny or something that looks different. You okay?
No. No. No.
Okay.
You had any ease today, Wildheart?
I'm actually on coffee.
Oh, get the caffeine in, man.
Yeah.
I'm on the Irish Buckfast tonight.
Nice.
Well, I told you, I know you probably don't remember because I told you when you were drinking, but it's double the strength over here. It's also double the fucking price, but I'm trying it
Yeah.
out tonight. It tastes exactly the same, although you probably can notice Richard definitely has. I'm starting to see colours.
Nice.
Or hear sounds, see
mean-
sounds. See,
you
I
mean-
can't- Yeah.
See sounds and hear colors. Yeah, that'd be the right way to say it.
Thank you, Richard.
There's a fine example of how hyper he is right now.
I could run a mile, I swear to fuck. I seen you outside the other day and you went to church, Wildheart. What the fuck was going on there where you went and sat in a church service?
I
By
was
the
just
way,
walking
you
past.
broke all terms and service. You're not allowed to bring not a mobile phone into a church, but I don't believe that you're
I know.
allowed to stream anyone's face from a community or public place without their permission.
Oh, I might get in trouble for that then.
I do think that that is a thing I may have to check.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah, I was just walking past. It was a lovely day. I thought I'd go out for a walk. It happened to be 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Perfect,
Sunday morning.
perfect church time.
Yeah. So the church was open. I've always wanted to go in. It's normally closed. So I thought I'll go in and stream from the church. I was very respectful.
How long did you
I stood
stay?
up and-
I watched for about 5 minutes after joining just before you walked in, was freaked out, didn't know what was happening, so went back to what I was. How long did you stay for?
It was about 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that.
How did you find
Yeah.
it?
Very dull.
Very dull.
Incredibly dull. Yeah. Yeah.
Did now,
Well,
now question, you arrived late. You didn't get a songbook.
No, they came and furnished me with one.
Oh, did they? Oh, so you had
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
the lyrics. Did you stand up and sing?
I stood up, I didn't sing.
Did you do?
No, I didn't even mouth it, no. I was just respectful, I stood up and just listened.
You do
Yeah.
realize that they are going to now. How close is this church to you?
5 minutes. 5
Okay,
minutes
church
walk.
is 5 minutes away from you. You've been banned from the 2 local shops, and you got arrested by the police locally. So you're probably known. Okay.
Yeah.
So they've seen the drunk, if I don't mind being, from their point of view, they've seen
Yeah.
this guy. Did you recently not have an issue with someone in the shop as well, where you told them that you were mentally had problems, so they would give you free stuff?
Yes, it wasn't a lie. No, I was honest with them. I said I need a mouse to get online. I am mentally ill. I have no money, and they furnished me with a mouse. They give me free mouse
Okay,
so I could get online.
right.
I wasn't dishonest.
Okay, you're not dishonest, but would you agree that in the community, if it's less than 5 minutes away, that you would be known for being?
Yes.
Would
yes.
you probably guess that in the next 3 days you're going to get someone knocking on your door coming to try and save you?
I've never thought of that. No. Do you think so?
I think that there's a definite possibility of that. I think you should
Yeah.
maybe encourage that.
I would enjoy that actually. Man, I would have to let them in. That's
No,
a big
but
problem.
Richard tilted his head like a poor dog, wondering why my master has went, what am I doing with this treat? I give you my fucking paw, right? No, Wildheart spends all his time screaming at people with the definition of God that he made up in his mind, and if you don't match it, you're fucked. Having someone in front of you is completely different than screaming at a person with Doritos from the other side of the line, because they can't reach over and slap you. You don't come across as ignorant, you're just you being you on the line. Where if
Can
you had
dye
a
your
person...
beard with Doritos?
Pardon?
Can you dye your beard with Doritos?
Have you got your Doritos, Wildheart?
If you add vinegar and I don't know, I tried to make something up, it didn't work.
Wildheart has... Yep. He has his stacks. Do you know why he stacks? They're probably in offer recently. They've been offer loads. Like.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, everyone give me that. Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of cake, Wildheart?
Cake.
Mm-hmm.
Cheesecake. Strawberry
Cheesecake.
cheesecake.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
Like
the same
Robbie.
thing, Raw.
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie's the same way. I like cheesecake too. I like cherry cheesecake's my favorite though.
Strawberry cheesecake, best dessert ever, and replace the digestive biscuits, 30% of them, with ginger nut biscuits. Get up.
Oh.
With your cheese.
But I like
Nice.
Black Forest cheesecake just a little bit better than I like cherry tea.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good call.
Right,
Yeah.
hold on, just to confirm this, right? Sorry, I'm being really rude, right? I'm really rude tonight because I'm very highly caffeinated. Would you, if someone came to your door, invite them in, Brie? Or not Brie?
I would actually. I've been tidying up, so I could actually invite them in. It's
It
not
does
too
look
bad.
quite tidy behind you. I see just a blanket and a pillow rather than a blanket and a pillow
Yeah.
and rubbish. So
Yeah,
congratulations.
but the floor's clear as well. I've been doing a lot of cleaning up.
I
Like
don't want
20 bin bags full of stuff.
I don't want to draw attention
Congratulations.
to your floor, but you dropped the phone on the floor the other day or last week when you were talking to me, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like if you woke up in the morning and needed
That's
a poo, you couldn't run to the toilet. You'd shit yourself in the hall from tripping over stuff. It's
Yeah.
you know.
No, I've been doing a lot of cleaning. It's almost done now. Yeah. Yeah, so I would invite them in. I would talk to them very politely.
Would you record it? Would you stream it? Would you ask permission?
Maybe with their permission, I would. Yes. Yeah.
Go Richard. Go Richard. It's your birthday.
Wildheart, I would just like to know, are you doing this for yourself, or is someone else compelling you?
I am doing. Basically, Heretic said it might be a good way to get into the community, to go to the church.
I meant cleaning up your space.
Oh no, I am trying to get my stuff together.
Wildheart
I'm-
had
For who?
For me,
Good.
mainly.
Good, you're worth it.
no,
Cheers,
no, no.
thank
He has been like Wildheart has been taking encouragement and stuff and all the rest of it. But I think this time you got a rude awakening a wee while ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Richard knows, and it's up to yourself whether you want to share.
I do not know.
Yeah.
And it's up to you.
I got arrested basically. I was harassing my mother because she's in control of my alcohol. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I've almost stopped drinking. I am down to like less than a quarter of a bottle of vodka a day, like a little bottle like that. I get about a half a bottle of vodka a day in 2 lots.
It is the
And
best. Yeah, it's good for you though.
I turned up at the wrong time, basically, and knocked on the door a bit too hard, so my mother had me arrested, and I spent 2 days in the cells.
Do you know that everyone quits drinking?
At some point, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
So-
Everyone quits drinking.
Yeah.
It's up to you as to how that happens and when.
Yeah.
I am the most excited about how your shelves look behind you.
Yeah.
Like there was time spent in them shelves. You know, I can see green rather than green covered with dust, whatever that green thing is. It could be a fucking it could be a roll of insulation tape, but you're.
It's a tape measure. Yeah, it's a tape measure.
You see it not far off. No, I've seen your room and it's worst, and I think you're doing Wildheart, and
Thank you very much.
you know, just keep going with the hairdo. Focus on the hairdo. Focus
Yes,
on the going out.
that's the main thing. That's
You know,
very much the main thing.
Do not
Yeah.
put cooking oil in your hair ever again.
No, that was a mistake.
That's not a styling gel. It's not.
But I think the topic was how much Richard looks like Jesus.
Has been for a while, but I just wanted to
Yeah.
give you some encouragement. And generally, man, I have never seen that T-shirt on you, and that T-shirt is the cleanest looking T-shirt I've seen on you in about 6 months. Is that freshly washed?
It was 2 days ago.
He's even proud enough to stand up, and that's
Right on.
and he's walking
Should be
in a
proud of
straight
himself.
line, you know. And I know we're setting the bar very low, but fuck me, Wildheart, I'm very proud of what you've come through in this last 6 months. You've been an asshole,
Cheers.
you've been a fucking prick,
Yes.
and you've pushed me to my limits at least 3 times that I can think of right now. But you know, you've always come through out the other end. All right, and I don't
Appreciate it.
want to say that I regret anything I've done. I have been a little rough with you a few times, which I felt bad
Yeah.
about, but I don't regret anything we've done. I think at the time things were
Yeah.
You are who you are for your experiences in the past, and as Richard pointed out, you'll only do this for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you'll only ever do this to yourself. So you get to the point of listening to all of us tell you and then walking away and coming back and going, you're a dick again, walking away. And you're like, am I really this or that? Or what? And you sort it for yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I appreciate all the help all of you, actually, have given me. And people inside chat as well.
And you can take it whatever way you want, man. But to a certain point, I wouldn't be wrong in saying that you have inspired me, because to a certain point, if I tell you to do something, I tell you to do something. Look at me being the fucking boss. If I suggest something to you when you ring me or whatever, and then my garden's a disaster. My back garden's a jungle. You know, my house isn't the tidiest. I am awful for washing dishes. And to be good for the environment, I pile the dishes up in the sink until there's enough for the dishwasher. And then I run the dishwasher. My mother asks me why I don't put them in the dishwasher. I'm like, because it's a closed surface, and when I open it, they've all went moldy faster than what they do in the air, and it smells. So I leave them in the fucking sink. It looks anyway, the point is, laundry's piled up out there. My bathroom's a fucking tip. I'm to a point no better than you. I'm better at organising. I'm better at keeping passwords and stuff. But
yeah, you're a lot better at that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just want to say, to a certain point, man, you have inspired me, because I cannot be the yappy bastard and the mother and this, that, and the other and say these things to you without taking them on upon me. I spent an hour of the day doing my front garden. I booked a plumber that came out today to finish off the bathroom that's been sitting like that for a year and a half. And I've been using the downstairs bathroom for storage because the plumbing's not finished. You know?
Yeah.
He said it'll take maximum 6 hours. So for a year and a half, I've put it off. And the plumber says it'll take about 6 hours. You know?
Yeah. I've been exactly the same, yeah. I could have done this months ago, if not years ago.
I did that with some electrical work recently.
You know, it's... for the sake of not being a fucking hypocrite, because it's worse to be a hypocrite, you've inspired me. Because I can't yap at you without putting it across myself. Hello, Jefferson.
Glad I've helped. Thank you.
Oh no, as I said to you, man, I'm a functioning alcoholic. You're a mess. We're just trying to get you up that one step, you know?
Yeah.
Richard laughed.
I was sneezing, actually.
Oh, you were. Oh, sorry.
Peace and respect, Jefferson. I assume spatchcock.
Jeff, jump on in and we can say hello. I think it's probably time we bounced over for the after party. Wild Heart's usually good for an after party.
I can do an after party, yeah.
There you go. There you go. That gives me the chance.
I
can do that even. I can even do that for you too, because you give me your mods. You must have paid your bill, did you?
Yeah.
I got my mod status back.
Yeah.
I need to get back on that myself. Because I did pay the bill, but it didn't get paid.
I would probably say that if you reached out to 420 has a couple of spur, and us being as close as we are, 420 allows
Spare
me.
what?
They pay for it. If they give you mod status, you can then use 10 people and just stream.
Oh, that's very kind. I've already paid for it. I intend for it to be paid for me.
Did you sort that, or did you pay again?
No, I need to go sort that. I've been forgetting about it.
I told my accountant / person who shouts at me / my mother that to treat myself for my birthday, I'm either going to buy a phone or I'm going to pay for my website. You know, like we were talking about. Yeah. And then I turned up at her house the other day with this flashy fucking thing. So she was like, "Oh, you went for the phone?" And I was like, "No, I sort of took the phone out on 0% interest over 2 years, and I paid £10 a month so I can still afford to do the website and get both." And she was like, "I'm not talking to you. I'm just going to go into the kitchen."
So your accountant is pissed, yep.
Yeah, so the accountant's not happy, you know. Fuck you all, it's my birthday, you know.
So what do we got here? What we got, a smoke break? Is that what's going on now?
Yeah, I'll have a smoke break. Yeah. You can leave at any stage. I'm sure Bree's still there. Me and Bree. There you go. StreamYard link. So, yeah, Richard, would you like to shill yourself? Do anything? What are you doing? You streaming tomorrow? Are you next week?
What I'd like to do is thank everyone here for the conversation. That's what I'd like to do. I I don't know. Me and Zebra and Mac are trying to get some stuff together. Maybe we're going to start doing it early mornings, which means there'll be no audience, and people just have to watch it later. But we're trying to work around Steve's insomnia, and Steve has fall asleep in the middle of the day insomnia and at weird hours insomnia. He's not just awake permanently like you are. He has a different kind. You're just permanently awake and you never sleep, and no one understands how you're even sane, but that's okay.
I'm not
Why are
seeing
you alive, Robbie?
I'm not seeing,
Yeah.
and it's power naps, man. It's all about the power naps. Right, there's the link to Wild's posted in the chat. Wild, before we go live, we need to edit your channel homepage. I hate the way YouTube doesn't do this as a standard, but yeah, we'll fix that. So there's that.
Right. No problem. Thank you very much.
No bother. Right. So Richard shilled his. The beautiful, the
not
wonderful, the
I'm
sexy
not done.
Bree. Oh no, you're not done. Sorry, Richard. But that all
not done.
applies to you as well, Richard. Go on ahead.
Bumblebee, it was great. It was great to see you. Thank you for your mind. I really appreciate you very, very much. Wildheart, I'll catch you over on your channel.
See you over there, Richard.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, Richard. Cheers.
Yeah,
Floor is yours, Bree.
Yeah, okay. So I am the mistress of Dinosaur Adventureland. That's my that's where I'm the side chick of one of the I'm not going to say their name, but one of the people that runs it. I'm like their side chick. So no, I have a science channel where I talk about nerdy stuff on Saturday mornings. You like talking about nerdy stuff like Bigfoot and Duncan on creationists and UFOs and science and bugs and animals. That's the kind of stuff I like to talk about, so come hang out with me. And it's really fun, called Life from the Hive. Yeah, that's about it.
It's not about it. There's loads of information. It's good banter. I don't get there on a frickin' Saturday because Yeah, thank you, Bree. Always. Thank you. I consider you one of my friends online, and certain points in my history I'd have been lost without you.
Oh, honey, you do every day.
That's just my looks. I'm talking about the emotional support, you know. Wildheart. Wildheart Shill is I stream every day. I talk bollocks. Distraminate. Fuck me, I'm highly caffeinated. Demonstrate, God.
Yes.
Oh,
And subscribe everyone over to the after show. Yeah. When you're ready.
When you're ready, and up to yourself, and join if you'd like. Also, he does karaoke where you need to take your headphones out and smash them so you never hear it again.
Yes.
And other than that, we will see you over there.
Cheers, MathPig. Thanks a lot.
Always, Wildheart, thank you for joining. You are a debacle of everything.
See you over there.
See you over there. Bye. Think for yourselves. Don't listen to any of us. We're all full of shit.